Chapter 222. In the end, Shang Junlin's wish was not fulfilled. When the noise outside the palace was about to stop, Xinyu asked for an audience. Eunuch Meng had just finished reprimanding the insensible palace servants when he saw Xinyu walking over with a dignified expression. Eunuch Meng, I have an important matter to discuss with your Majesty and your Highness. Could you please pass on the message? Eunuch Meng knew that she was working for Xinyu, so he immediately went to report. Your Majesty, your Highness, Xinyu asks for an audience. Xinyu pushed the man on top of her. Your Majesty, please get up. Shang Junlin got up with a dark face and tidied up Xinyu's clothes. Let him in. Not long after, Eunuch Meng came in with Xinyu. Xinyu's face was still a little red, and the heat on her body had not dissipated. She looked at Shang Junlin, and found that the man did not seem to be any different. Reporting to your Majesty, your Highness, this servant received an order today. This servant did not know who sent the letter, and this servant did not open the letter. Xinyu took out the letter and presented it with both hands. Eunuch Meng took the letter from her and handed it to Shang Junlin. There was not much content in the letter. Xinyu went to Shang Junlin's side and finished reading it with him. Her expression was a little strange. Because of the request in the letter asked Xinyu to find a way to destroy the greenhouse that Shang Junlin built for Xinyu. After asking Xinyu some questions and confirming that she really did not know anything, Xinyu signaled her to go back first. Your Majesty, what do you think? The flowers in the greenhouse that Shang Junlin built for Xinyu were almost all found by Shang Junlin. Why would someone want to destroy the greenhouse? If they want to destroy the greenhouse, it must be because there is something in the greenhouse. But there are only all kinds of flowers and plants inside. The greenhouse had been remodeled and turned into a place for flowers and plants. There was nothing else in the huge palace except for flowers and plants. It couldn't be that these people's goal was the flowers in the greenhouse, right? Shang Junlin ordered Eunuch Meng to personally take a look at the greenhouse to make sure that there were things that they didn't know about. Is there a new palace maid coming to Yuzhang Palace recently? Xinyu suddenly remembered the palace maid who claimed to be a new palace maid outside the hall just now. Mushi thought for a moment and said, I don't think so. Go and investigate the palace maid who appeared outside the palace today, and said she was a new maid. Xinyu ordered. First, it was the letter that appeared in Xinyu's hands. Then it was the newcomer that appeared in Yuzhang Palace. There might be some connection between the two. Eunuch Meng led his men to carefully check the greenhouse, but didn't find anything extra. After a long time, he ordered the palace servants to put the flowers back. What's going on in front? Just as Ji Wuwang was about to go to Yuzhang Palace, he passed by the greenhouse and heard the sound of chaotic footsteps. Young Master Ji? Eunuch Meng heard the sound and wiped his sweat. He turned his head and said, His Majesty ordered me to check the flowers in the greenhouse. It will be done soon. Is young Master Ji looking for Guijun? These flowers were all found by His Majesty for Guijun. Guijun has always liked to take care of flowers and plants. His Majesty found all kinds of flowers and plants to bring into the palace, and built a greenhouse to place them. These are all things that Xiaoyu likes. Yes. Eunuch Meng knew that he was Xinyu's older brother and said a few more words. Guijun often comes here. In the beginning, when there were few flowers, Guijun personally took care of them. It's amazing that one of the flowers here has been blooming for several months without any signs of withering. What kind of flower is so amazing? Ji Wuwang was interested. It's that one. Eunuch Meng pointed at a certain place. When he turned around and saw the white cloth covering Ji Wuwang's eyes, he paused. He almost forgot that this lord couldn't see. It's a pale yellow flower with a big bud. Eunuch Meng described the magical flower. This flower is really amazing. When it sees Guijun, it will shake. It's really amazing. Ji Wuwang's tone was calm, but no one knew what kind of huge waves were rolling under this calm surface. Listening to Eunuch Meng's description, this flower was very similar to the one he had been looking for. If young Master Ji wants to find Guijun, you can go directly to Yuzhang Palace. Ji Wuwang didn't stay any longer, and went to Yuzhang Palace. He came to the palace this time to talk to Shang Junlin about the captured people. He didn't expect to meet with a pleasant surprise midway. Wu Ying, did you see it? Is that flower the one I've been looking for? The man who had been following behind Ji Wuwang said in a low voice. It looks like it. Whether it is or not, we can only find a way to get closer to see it. Why did this flower appear in the palace? No one could answer Ji Wuwang's question. When Ji Wuwang arrived at Yuzhang Palace, Xinyu was taking an afternoon nap. The two men tacitly didn't disturb Xinyu and chose another place to talk. When Xinyu woke up, the two had finished talking. With Mushi's help, Xinyu changed his clothes and walked out. Shang Junlin heard footsteps and looked up. When he saw Xinyu, he got up and walked towards him. You're awake? I slept well. Xinyu turned to look at Ji Wuwang. Young Master Ji, you're here at this time. Is there a result from the interrogation? Ji Wuwang nodded. That person has been hiding in Dahuan for many years, and has been looking for your mother's whereabouts. Why did he do this to me? Is it also because of my mother? Xinyu was hugged by Shang Junlin and sat on the main seat. Ji Wuwang. Yes. Xinyu. What did my mother do to make so many people want to kill her? Ji Wuwang. Because she ruined their plans and shattered their ambitions. 25 years ago, she discovered the secret of the Ji family's leader and made it public. That person secretly used a forbidden technique and failed at the most critical moment. Naturally, he hated the culprit who caused all this. Xinyu. Who was the leader at that time? Ji Wuwang. It was another branch of the Ji family. After the incident, the Ji family was taken over by my father. At that time, the Ji family was very chaotic. When the chaos was over, your mother had quietly left the clan. No one knew where she went. Xinyu. When I was young, I was hunted down once. Those people were killed by His Majesty. Were they also members of the Ji family? If they were members of the Ji family, why didn't they come to find me later? Ji Wuwang said. After being exposed, that person should have been sentenced to death, but after he caused chaos in the clan, he disappeared from the clan. The clan has been sending people to capture him, and it was only 7 years ago that we finally caught him at the border of the Great Huan Kingdom. This time, we caught someone who escaped with him from the clan. As the former patriarch of the Ji clan, even though he had done unforgivable things, there were still many people who were loyal to him. The person who was captured this time was one of them. 7 years ago, after that person was dealt with by the Ji clan, this person went into hiding. The reason he attacked Xinyu was to avenge the former patriarch. That person's former subordinates blamed everything on your mother. Since your mother is no longer around, this hatred was passed on to you. After saying this, Ji Wuwang thought of the flowers that Eunuch Meng had mentioned and asked, were the flowers in your greenhouse sent by him? It went without saying that he was referring to him. Why are you suddenly asking about this? Xinyu was puzzled. When I left the clan this time, I have been looking for something. There is a flower in your greenhouse that is very similar to what I am looking for. Are you talking about the flower that has bloomed for a long time and hasn't withered? In terms of uniqueness, Xinyu felt that no other flower could be more unique than this one. Yes. Ji Wuwang diverted some of his attention to Shang Junlin. May I ask where your majesty got this flower? This flower was sent by Princeton. I didn't get it. Shang Junlin said lightly. It was sent last year. At first it didn't bloom. Then one day it suddenly bloomed. Xinyu explained. This flower, when the time comes, bring it with you. Ji Wuwang said. He didn't say the reason, so Xinyu didn't ask. This flower was mysterious. It wouldn't be strange if it came from the equally mysterious Ji family. After Ji Wuwang left, Xinyu nestled in Shang Junlin's arms and suddenly thought of this. Your Majesty, do you think the real purpose of the person who wanted to destroy the greenhouse is because of this flower? Most of the flowers in the greenhouse were sent by Shang Junlin, except for the Junling, sent by Imperial Physician Gu, and the unknown flower sent by Princeton. It's possible. If Xinyu doesn't do anything, that person might do something else. Mushi came back with the results of her investigation. The palace maid's purpose was none other than the greenhouse. This time, the answer was obvious. The flowers in the greenhouse were quietly moved to other places. Except for Shang Junlin, Xinyu, and a few people they trusted, No one else knew that 2 flowers were missing from the greenhouse. The Junling was moved to Xinyu and Shang Junlin's palace. This flower spent the coldest period in their palace. When the weather became hot, Shang Junlin ordered people to move it away. This time it was moved back. At the same time, security was strengthened around the greenhouse. If anyone suspicious was found, they would be arrested. The palace maid was taken away for interrogation. Unfortunately, she was only following orders and didn't know who ordered her to do this. Xinyu also didn't have any results. At this time, she clearly realized that the original owner of this body had a big hole in her. She recalled the original owner's memories over and over again, trying to find some clues, but to no avail. Gu Huai walked out of the dungeon. His subordinate silently handed him a handkerchief. Gu Huai took it and wiped the blood off his hands. After sending Imperial Physician Gu away, Gu Huai's originally patient attitude changed drastically. He personally interrogated those who were arrested, but none of them lasted for more than a day. As the interrogation went on, Gu Huai became more and more tense. Every day, new developments were reported to Shang Junlin through the hidden dragon guards. Gu Huai caught the person who drugged Lin County and found out the source of the drug from that person. Shang Junlin ordered the hidden dragon guards to continue investigating. Gu Huai caught the culprit who caused the epidemic in Lin County and escorted him back to the capital. Your Majesty, do you want to announce the truth about Lin County to the court? Until now, the officials in the imperial court still didn't know that the aggressive epidemic in Lin County was a man-made one. Let's not talk about it for now. I will deal with it when I return. Shang Junlin had already arranged everything. Even if he left for a period of time, the operations of the court would not be affected. I don't know how long I will have to stay there. After being reborn, Xinyu had been staying in the palace. Suddenly, she had to leave for a period of time. She couldn't help but feel disappointed. When a Yu is cured, we will return. Shang Junlin's gaze was gentle. Your Majesty, it's not good. Eunuch Meng walked in anxiously and knelt on the ground. The greenhouse is on fire. Shang Junlin stood up abruptly. Xinyu also stood up. They didn't expect an accident to happen even though they had been guarding the greenhouse. Chapter 223. By the time Xinyu and Shang Junlin arrived, the fire had already been put out. Because it was discovered in time, it did not lead to a disaster. The palace servants moved the flowers out. Xinyu saw the pots of flowers that were originally full of vitality become wilted and felt very uncomfortable. What the hell is going on? A palace servant accidentally knocked down the candlestick. The servant answered carefully. Meng Chang, investigate. This servant obeys. Ji Wuwang rushed over when he heard the news. His expression was very ugly. The flower room was independent of Yuzhang Palace. Moreover, the fire was stopped in time, causing not much damage. The palace servants moved the flowers to another place. Xinyu, Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang went to another palace. When you said that the flower was what you were looking for, His Majesty and I kept an eye on it. We did not expect that someone would really want to touch it. After sitting down, Xinyu was the first to speak. The palace servants served them tea and left quietly. Eunuch Meng was ordered by Shang Junlin to investigate the fire in the flower room. He did not leave any servants to serve him. This flower went missing with the previous patriarch. You said that it was sent by Princeton. Where did he get this flower? Ji Wuwang asked. He said that it was in some remote mountain. Shang Junlin did not completely believe this explanation. Now it seemed that there was a big problem. Why did Princeton give this flower to me? If Princeton knew the origin of this flower, why did he send it to the palace? What is the use of this flower? Compared to other things, Shang Junlin was more concerned about this. I ordered the flower keeper and the imperial physician to take a look at it. This flower is not poisonous and harmless to the human body. If it was poisonous, it would not have appeared here. It would have been destroyed long ago. This flower is a sacred healing item. How could it be harmful to the human body? I have been looking for it because to completely remove the seal, this flower is indispensable. It's a sacred item of the Ji clan called the Moon Lotus. It needs to be cultivated with the blood of people who have received the abstinence guidance. The maturity period is 20 years, but when it will bloom and bear fruit depends on the situation. The moon lotus can cure 100 poisons in the world, and can prolong one's life. Ji Wuwang briefly introduced the characteristics of the moon lotus. Only then did Shen Yu know the name of this magical flower. With it, do we still need to go to the Ji clan's land to undo the seal on a Yu's body? Shang Junlin was silent for a while after hearing this. Didn't you say that it can cure hundreds of poisons? Abstinence is different from ordinary poisons. Ji Wuwang refused to budge on the matter of going to the Ji clan. There's a girl who looks like me in the palace. Other than me, is there anyone else from the Ji clan who is stranded outside? At this moment, Shen Yu thought of Shen Yu. What made them wary was the letter that Shen Yu had received. Whether she's from the Ji clan or not, we'll know once we verify it. Shen Yu had been feeling uneasy these days. She had found the letter under her pillow. Later on, she had asked the people around her if anyone had entered her room. The answer she received was no one. After handing in the letter, she had a feeling that something was going to happen. Today, she had just finished tidying up and was about to return to her room when she saw the palace servants of Yuzhang Palace. She was brought to Yuzhang Palace. Other than Shen Yu and Shang Junlin, she also saw a man in white with a white cloth covering his eyes. What surprised her was that this man's appearance was too similar to Shen Yu's. Wu Ying, give it to her. Shen Yu took the item. It was a small square made of a jade-like material. There was a groove in the middle, and there were some complicated patterns around it. This is? Shen Yu was at a loss. Drip a drop of your blood in it. The palace maid beside her handed her a dagger. Shen Yu looked at Shen Yu and saw him nod at her. She gritted her teeth, picked up the dagger, and made a cut on her finger. Blood seeped out. Shen Yu adjusted her posture and let the blood drip on it. After a long while there was no reaction. She's not related to the Ji clan, Ji Wuwang said. Ji clan? What Ji clan? Shen Yu was even more at a loss. Take Shen Yu away to bandage her wound first, Shen Yu said. The palace maid led Shen Yu away. If they're not related by blood, why do they look so similar? Shen Yu had always suspected that Shen Yu was related to him by blood. Perhaps someone deliberately chose her and sent her to you. This thing can detect the Ji clan's bloodline? Shang Junlin looked at the small square on the table curiously. Yes, it will react to the Ji clan's bloodline. If she's not a member of the Ji clan, then there won't be any reaction. After her wound was bandaged, Shen Yu was sent back. After asking the palace maid who came with her, Shen Yu found out that the greenhouse had caught fire today. Thinking of the letter that suddenly appeared under her pillow, she didn't know if there was any connection between the two. Why did it suddenly catch fire? Shen Yu suppressed her various thoughts and pretended to be curious. Eunuch Meng and the others are investigating. They said that a palace maid accidentally knocked over the candlestick. The flowers inside were Guijuan's favorite flowers. They were too careless. The palace maid's tone was full of complaints. The servants of Yuzhang Palace were all grateful to Shen Yu. The longer they stayed in the palace, the more they knew how rare it was to have such a master. That greenhouse was specially built for Guijun by the emperor. Everyone knew how much Guijun valued the flowers inside. Guijun must have suffered a lot from this disaster. Shen Yu was indeed a little upset. These flowers were found for him by Shang Junlin. Now because of someone else's selfishness, he suffered for nothing. I don't want to let this matter go so easily. Shen Yu looked up and met Shang Junlin's eyes. Even if you didn't say anything, I wouldn't let this matter go. As long as he thought that the real target of the mastermind was the moon lotus, and that the moon lotus was necessary for Shen Yu to remove the seal, Shang Junlin couldn't suppress the tyranny in his heart. Anyone who tried to hurt Shen Yu deserved to die. Eunuch Meng knew that Shang Junlin cared about this matter, so he quickly found the person who knocked over the candlestick. Whether it was intentional or not, this person would not have a good ending. The people who might have done it were all arrested and interrogated by the people of the disciplinary department. Eunuch Meng personally took care of them, so no one dared to be careless. After the results of the interrogation came out, Eunuch Meng personally reported to Shang Junlin. The candlestick was indeed accidentally knocked over, but the candlestick had been tampered with in advance. No matter who it was, it could have been knocked over. The person who tampered with the candlestick was a little eunuch named Dongzi. He drowned the day before the greenhouse caught fire. Drowned. Shang Junlin's tone was cold. Continue to investigate. Investigate all the people he had contact with before he died. I want to know who ordered him to do this. This servant obeys. The investigation led to a dead person. Interesting. Xin Yu listened to Shang Junlin's results and sneered. A Yu doesn't have to worry about this matter. I will definitely give a Yu an explanation for the matter in the palace. Xin Yu believed that Shang Junlin could handle this matter. He snuggled into the man's arms. Those flowers, can they be saved? Although the fire was put out in time, the flowers nearby were still affected. Xin Yu had personally taken care of them for so long, especially since these flowers were given by Shang Junlin. He did not want to lose them because of this fire. I know you care. I have already asked the palace people to treat them. A few of the less affected flowers are no longer a big problem. The more serious ones still need to be checked. If it is really not possible, I will send you new ones. I want to see those burned flowers. I will go with you. The flower room was still being cleaned up. The flowers were placed in another palace. Seeing Shen Yu and Shang Junlin coming together, the palace people quickly saluted. No need to be so polite. The palace people led the two of them inside. Most of the flowers were in good condition. Shen Yu walked to the front of a few flowers that were in serious condition. It could be seen that the people who took care of them were very attentive. Shen Yu looked at the leaves. He was not sure if these flowers could survive. After looking around, Shen Yu was led out by Shang Junlin. Eunuch Meng was waiting outside. When he saw the two of them coming out, he quickly stepped forward. Your Majesty, I found it. Before the accident, that little eunuch suddenly had a sum of money in his hand. He asked someone to take the money out of the palace and gave it to his parents outside the palace. This servant has already arranged people to look for it. If they found the source of the money, they would be able to find the person who ordered this. In the end, the clues pointed to a concubine left behind by the late emperor. A long time ago, Xin Yu used an excuse to imprison some of the late emperor's concubines in Yuzhang Palace. Later, these people were taken away by Shang Junlin. They could not keep them locked up forever. So they released those who did not know much and imprisoned them in the palace where they originally lived. Other than not allowing them to run around, there were not many restrictions. I thought that these people were abandoned. I did not expect that there would be a day when they would be used again. Back then, they had released them because they were sure that they didn't know much. Those who knew a little more, after they couldn't get anything out of them, they picked out a few serious crimes from what they had done and punished them accordingly. Your Majesty has cleaned up the harem several times. There are limited ways for them to do whatever they want in the palace. Those concubines who were imprisoned by Your Majesty became the only choice. The late emperor really knows how to make trouble for me. Shang Junlin sneered. Xin Yu thought about it. It seemed to be the case. Whether it was inside or outside the palace, those who were involved with the late emperor were trying to make trouble for Shang Junlin. Last time, Prince Huaiyu was involved. But now that Prince Huaiyu is dead, who else would do such a thing? Somehow, there seemed to be a thread that connected everything together. Shang Junlin narrowed his eyes. There are not many people in the Great Huan Kingdom who have the ability to do this. There is also the matter that General Gu has been investigating. Maybe the two were done by the same force. Xin Yu guessed. When Gu Huai returns, I will let him investigate together. But we don't know what that person wants to do. Your Majesty sent people to find the other half of the thing that Grand Tutor Xing mentioned. How is the progress? He himself does not know how to get it. Many things from the national treasury were recovered. The other 200,000 soldiers, horses, and armor are still missing. Shang Junlin was not worried about this matter. Today, the Great Huan Kingdom had sufficient soldiers. The other half of the soldiers left by the late emperor could not pose too much of a threat to the Great Huan Kingdom. Your Majesty, we might as well take this opportunity to go to the Ji clan to find out what the person behind this is planning. Xin Yu felt that it was impossible for that person to not have any ulterior motives after doing so many things. This did not make sense. No matter who that person was, as long as he made a move, they would have a chance to catch his tail. What they were afraid of was that he would hide in the dark and do nothing. You wants me to be the bait? No, it's an empty bait for him to bite. Chapter 224. Xinyu hugged Shang Junlin's neck and planted a light kiss on his lips. How can I bear to let your majesty be the bait? No matter who that person was, he wasn't worthy. Shang Junlin took advantage of the situation and hugged Xinyu's waist. What does you want to do? Let them see that there is an opportunity to take advantage of, and at the same time, create an atmosphere that they already have something on them. In front of their own lives, they will always be willing to take a risk. Jin will arrange it. Shang Junlin hugged Xinyu and sat on the soft couch at the side. Zhu Wang, who was locked up in the dark prison, was also someone who escaped from the Ji family? Xinyu found a comfortable position in Shang Junlin's arms with familiarity. Yes, he took him away and said that he wanted to ask about some things that happened in the past. Naturally, Ji Wuwang, who was also a member of the Ji family, knew more about how to deal with the Ji family. They had locked Zhu Wang up for so long, but didn't get much useful information. Instead of wasting time, it was better to hand him over to Ji Wuwang. Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang joined forces to uncover the Ji family's forces hidden in the capital. After dealing with this, Shang Junlin began to make arrangements to go to the Ji family's territory. Imperial physician Gu knew the specific situation of Shenyu's body from the other imperial physicians and Ji Wuwang, because he had been in charge of nursing Shenyu's body. This time, Shang Junlin planned to bring him along. The weather was gradually getting hotter. Xinyu didn't ask Shang Junlin how to deal with the former emperor and concubines. If he got something from those people, Shang Junlin would tell him. If there was nothing, there was no need to ask. After the greenhouse fire, the palace dealt with a group of palace servants. Because Xinyu's body wasn't good, Shang Junlin didn't let him intervene in these matters. Xinyu stayed in Yuzhang Palace every day and didn't feel the wind and rain outside. Mu Shi was instructed by Shang Junlin not to bother Xinyu with these matters. Gu Huai brought people back to the capital. The two people he caught had been tortured beyond recognition. The information they got was presented to Shang Junlin. The crisis of Lin County was resolved. The imperial court finally gave the people an answer and reported this matter in the newspaper. The imperial court has announced the situation of Lin County. Everyone go and take a look. How is it? Is the situation serious? It's not that serious. I'm really relieved. The epidemic in Lin County has been brought under control. So why didn't give an explanation before? Didn't they give it now? Perhaps the imperial court has just received accurate news. Lin County is so far away from the capital. Isn't it normal for them to receive the news later? Lin is Lin's Lin's county is Lin's U's county is Lin's Lin. The to Lin. As the people were very concerned about the matter of Lin County. The imperial court didn't give an explanation before, but there were all kinds of rumors outside. Do you still remember? There was a rumor that the imperial court ordered all the sick people to be burned in order to solve the epidemic in Lin County. That's why they didn't give an explanation to the public. I remember, but I didn't believe it. After the emperor ascended the throne, he didn't do such an outrageous thing. If he didn't care about the people, how could we have such a good life now? The people who spread these rumors may have something in mind. Have you forgotten that the traitor King Yu colluded with several ministers to smear His Majesty's name? Why are these people still unwilling to give up? Why don't we report this news to the government? That's feasible. Thus, the government in the capital received many anonymous letters from the people about the rumors during this period. Since the incident with King Yu, the imperial court ordered that these rumors couldn't be ignored. The government had been investigating the source and caught many people who spread the rumors maliciously. The weather was getting hotter, and Shang Junlin suggested in the imperial court that he wanted to take Xinyu to avoid the heat. This time he didn't go there last time, but to another palace in the south. The prime minister, Fang Jun, and the other important ministers were all left behind. This time, it was the emperor's personal trip. This kind of thing wasn't uncommon in Dahuan. There was once an emperor in Dahuan who liked to go out of the palace. In order to cater to his preferences, Palaces were built all over Dahuan. Later emperors would occasionally go to these places to play. After Shang Junlin ascended the throne, he devoted all his attention to political affairs. In his early years, he left the palace to go to war. This was the first time he left the palace to play. Only the prime minister, Fang Jun, and other trusted ministers knew the inside story. They also knew that there might be some twists and turns in His Majesty's departure this time. But they couldn't persuade him. No one could stop Shang Junlin from doing what he decided to do. After the court, Shang Junlin asked the prime minister and others to stay. He talked for the whole afternoon in the imperial study and arranged the follow-up matters before returning to Yuzhang Palace. Yuzhang Palace was quiet. Seeing him come in, Mushi hurriedly stood up and bowed. "Where's Ziyu? Young master is sleeping in the inner room. He hasn't woken up yet." As the weather got hotter, Xinyu became more and more sleepy. Shang Junlin knew that he had to take people to the Ji clan as soon as possible to solve the hidden danger in Xinyu's body. Imperial physician Gu came to check Xinyu's pulse every day and developed another medicine that could be taken according to the suppressant medicine. This medicine was used to nourish Xinyu's body. Otherwise, it would cause irreversible damage to Xinyu's body if Xinyu was too weak. Ji Wuwang didn't object to taking Imperial physician Gu to the Ji clan. To him, one more person or one less person didn't make much of a difference. Shang Junlin walked into the inner room and saw the young man sleeping soundly on the soft bed. In just a few days, the young man had lost weight at a speed visible to the naked eye. His black hair stuck to his pale cheeks, making his face look even smaller. Shang Junlin slowed down his footsteps and walked over. He sat beside the soft bed and reached out to touch the young man's face. A familiar breath approached. Xinyu moved forward and slowly opened his eyes. "Your Majesty?" Xinyu, who had just woken up, was still a little confused. His voice was also soft. "You're awake?" Shang Junlin's voice was low and gentle. "Yes." Xinyu nodded. Shang Junlin helped him get up. "Why didn't you sleep on the bed?" While he was moving, the book slipped from his side. Xinyu didn't care and sat up with the man's strength. "I was reading a book just now and accidentally fell asleep. I've already arranged everything. We can go to the Ji clan to solve the warning on your body." Shang Junlin brushed away the messy hair on the young man's forehead. "What did your Majesty say to the ministers?" "I said I'm going to the summer palace to play for a while. There's no big matter in the court recently. It doesn't matter whether I'm there or not." Xinyu leaned on the man's shoulder and said in a weak voice, "Didn't the ministers object?" "There's nothing to object. The previous emperors of the Great Huan dynasty had such precedents. I'm just exercising my rights." Shang Junlin didn't disclose Xinyu's physical condition to the public. He also didn't intend to disclose it to the public. His Ziyu was only temporarily ill. After he recovered, he would be the same as before and accompany him for a long time. After arranging everything in the court, Shang Junlin took Xinyu to the summer palace. In order to deal with the ministers in the court, they also knew how to deceive the public. They would first go to the southern summer palace that Shang Junlin mentioned. After checking in, they would change their route to the Ji clan's land. The people they brought would stay in the summer palace. Shang Junlin arranged for his stand-in to stay there. They would disguise their identities and leave. Ji Wuwang brought along the captured members of the Ji clan. They didn't move together. They went their own ways and finally met at the agreed place. Then they would go to the Ji clan's land together. Xinyu brought along 2 pots of flowers. "I understand that you brought the moon lotus, but why did you bring the other one?" In the carriage, Shang Junlin whispered in Xinyu's ear. Xinyu's hot breath blew into his ear. He tilted his head and said, "I have been taking care of that flower. This time, I might as well bring it along with me." Initially, Xinyu only intended to bring Yu Lian along. However, when he saw Junling in the bedroom, he thought for a moment and brought her along as well. As for the reason, even Xinyu himself couldn't explain it. The carriage didn't travel fast. After 10 days, they arrived at the summer palace. These days, Xinyu was almost always in the carriage. After getting off the carriage, Xinyu saw Fang Jun come to greet Shang Junlin. "Why did your Majesty bring official Fang here?" Xinyu remembered that Shang Junlin didn't plan to bring anyone with him this time. He needs to deal with some things on my behalf. Although there was a stand-in, it was inconvenient for them to spread news after they went to the Ji clan's land. With Fang Jun outside, he could deal with many things for him. What's more, the bait had been set. He had to give the person behind the scenes a chance to take the bait. The layout of the Summer Palace was very different from the Imperial Palace. It had the unique elegance of the South. There were rockery, flowing water, corridors and pavilions. If it wasn't for other purposes this time, Xinyu would have liked to stay here for a while. Xinyu was led by Shang Junlin into the courtyard where they were going to stay. Who is your Majesty's stand-in? I want to see. I am already here. Why is you so greedy? Xinyu said helplessly. I am just a little curious. They only stayed in the Summer Palace for a day. The next day, they changed into casual clothes and left the Summer Palace. In order to shorten the time, they chose to ride horses. After meeting up with Ji Wuwang, they went deep into the mountains under his lead. After walking in the mountains for 2 days, Ji Wuwang and his people stopped. We are here. Xinyu looked ahead. Other than the towering mountains, he couldn't see anything. Ji Wuwang stepped forward and placed the token in his hand on the mountain wall. Almost in an instant, the fog in the mountains dispersed, revealing a small path. The small path meandered along the mountain wall, only allowing one person to pass. After walking for about an hour, the path opened up. What appeared in front of them was a small city in the mountains. The plants were lush and the scenery was pleasant. It was hard to imagine that such a place was deep in the mountains. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Xinyu would have thought that such a place was in some small city in the south. The only thing that didn't match was the buildings. Almost all of them were made of stone and carved with various complicated patterns. The clothes of the people passing by were also different from Dahuan. They used a lot of gauze and their waists, arms, and other places could be vaguely seen. Some people noticed their presence and their eyes were filled with curiosity. Follow me. Ji Wuwang led them inside. Everywhere they went, the passers-by stopped and bowed to Ji Wuwang. It could be seen that Ji Wuwang's status here was very high. They were led to one of the most prominent buildings. I have just returned to the clan. I still have some things to deal with. You can rest here first. If there is anything you need, just tell them to do it. Xinyu looked around. The layout of the room was very luxurious. It was decorated with all kinds of gold and jade. Many of the utensils in the room were made of huge stones. Only a few were made of wood. A maid brought clean clothes over. Do the 2 guests want to wash up? Xinyu picked up one of the clothes. It was obvious that it wasn't Dahuan's style. Chapter 225. The clothes in Xinyu's hands were white and covered with a thin layer of gauze. It felt very soft to the touch, like cloud satin. He spread out the clothes and saw many transparent parts. Shang Junlin walked over and looked at the maid. Don't you have any other clothes? The maid nodded. Xinyu put the clothes back. Your Majesty, if you don't like it, then forget it. Shang Junlin pursed his lips. It wasn't that he didn't like it, but he didn't want other people to see Xinyu wearing it. The maid didn't expect to encounter such a situation, and was a little flustered. I like it. Shang Junlin suddenly spoke and interrupted the maid. Xinyu didn't seem to notice Shang Junlin's little scheme and deliberately approached him and asked, Then why did your Majesty ask if there are any other clothes? There was a hint of teasing in his tone, and his eyes were tinged with a smile. Shang Junlin grabbed his hand that was touching his chest. You really didn't know? How would I know if your Majesty didn't tell me? Xinyu raised his eyebrows. Of course it's because. Shang Junlin lowered his head and his lips almost touched Xinyu's earlobe. I don't want other people to see you wearing this. You can only show it to me. His hot breath sprayed on the sensitive earlobe. In an instant, the earlobe was dyed with a layer of crimson. Like a ripe fruit, bright and juicy, tempting to pluck. The seduced man unceremoniously took a bite, and gently ground his teeth. This time, it wasn't just the earlobe that was red. The crimson color spread all the way to the overlapping layers of the clothes. Xinyu's breathing was unsteady. In a trance, he seemed to hear a man's chuckle. The maid was still at the side. She lowered her head and didn't dare to look. Xinyu didn't want this inexplicable atmosphere to continue, so he interrupted. Does your majesty want to wash up? After walking all the way here, Xinyu wanted to find a place with water to wash himself. Shang Junlin generously let go of the earlobe that had been ravaged. Due to the angle, even if the maid looked over curiously, she could not see what exactly Shang Junlin had done. She could only see the tall man whispering something into the young man's ear, making the young man blush. It's already late. Naturally, I should wash up. The maid looked at the clothes on the tray and said awkwardly, These clothes? Bring it along. Shang Junlin was quite curious about the clothes in this place. He was especially curious about how Xinyu would look after wearing it. The maid carried a tray of clothes and led the way for the two of them. The bathing place was in an empty room. In the middle of the room, there was a steaming pool. Xinyu came closer and found that it was a hot spring. After making sure that they didn't need anyone to wait on them, the maid put down the things and left. In the blink of an eye, only Shang Junlin and Xinyu were left. Xinyu unbuttoned his clothes and walked in. The water temperature was high. After a while, Xinyu's skin turned red from the steam. Shang Junlin put away their clothes and slowly went into the water. He swam to Xinyu's side and hugged the young man who was covered in red. I'm at a you's service. Xinyu leaned back as the hot water slid over his skin. I remember that there is a similar place in the palace. I've taken a you there before. The place in the palace is different from here. If a you likes it, I'll have someone build one in the palace. You can only soak in the hot spring occasionally. It's not good for your health if you soak in it for too long. Xinyu interrupted Shang Junlin's unrealistic idea. There was no natural hot spring in the palace. It was almost impossible to build a similar one. The two of them were close to each other, and their hearts were connected. It was normal for them to have a reaction. Xinyu felt that he was being kissed. He silently moved to the side. After soaking for half an hour, Shang Junlin carried Xinyu out. He picked up a dry cloth and wiped the water stains on Xinyu's body. After drying, Xinyu put on the clothes brought by the maid. The clothes were white. His neck was exposed. His arms and other areas were covered by a layer of gauze. The bottom was a loose pair of bloomers. It tightened at the ankles, revealing his slender white ankles. It was also covered by a layer of gauze. Along with the clothes, there was a pile of jewelry. These were used as embellishments. Shang Junlin picked them up and put them on for Xinyu. After putting on the clothes, Shang Junlin carefully looked at the young man standing in front of him. He sighed. A you is really beautiful. The young man was wearing white clothes that were completely different from Dahuan's clothes. His black hair was loose and his face was light pink because he had just soaked in the hot spring. It was very different from Xinyu's usual appearance. He was like an enchantress from a foreign land. Shang Junlin's eyes darkened. He wanted to imprison such a young man in his arms. He didn't want anyone to see him. He could only smile at him and cry for him. Xinyu was not used to such clothes. He looked sideways and then turned back to look at Shang Junlin, who was wearing the clothes he brought. He said, Your Majesty, why don't you wear it? You wants to see me wear it? Xinyu nodded with interest. I've already worn it for Your Majesty to see. Shouldn't Your Majesty also wear it for me to see? After saying that, Xinyu picked up another set of clothes and handed it to Shang Junlin. Shang Junlin stared at him for a while. I'll wear it for you after we go back to the room. Xinyu thought about the maid waiting outside. This was someone else's territory, not the palace. Some things were inconvenient. Then let's go back. Shang Junlin took a cloak and put it on Xinyu. The two of them walked out together. The maid greeted them. Dinner is ready. Where would you like to eat? Bring it to our room. Yes. After they went back to the room, the maid brought the dinner. The dinner was very much to Xinyu's taste. Xinyu ate a little more. After he finished eating, he waved the maid away. Shang Junlin took the clothes to the inner room to change. Xinyu was bored and sat outside to wait. After some time, he heard footsteps. Xinyu turned around. He was stunned. He was used to Shang Junlin's noble appearance in the imperial robes. After changing into Jisher's clothes, he showed a completely different charm. Shang Junlin's clothes were dark. The style was similar to Shen Yu's. The difference was that the man's arms were completely exposed. There was no veil. Instead, they were replaced by gold and jewels. Does you like it? Your Majesty looks good in this. Shen Yu was not stingy with his praise. He stood up and walked toward Shang Junlin. Now I can understand your thoughts. This was Shang Junlin. Except for himself, Shen Yu did not want anyone to see it. What thoughts? Shen Yu hooked his arms around the man's neck and looked down. He breathed on the man's lips. Your Majesty, only I can see it. You only I can see it. Shang Junlin's voice was slightly hoarse. He raised his hand and untied Shen Yu's cloak. The white cloak slipped down. Everything under the veil was faintly discernible. He put his hand on her waist and slowly rubbed it through the veil. His breath was taken away. Shen Yu raised his head and received the man's fierce kiss. When the kiss ended, Shen Yu tilted his head slightly to avoid the man's scorching breath. When we go back, I will ask the clothing bureau to make a few sets of clothes like this. Shen Yu's body trembled slightly when he heard the man's low murmur. Huh? He heard the man's low laughter. It was filled with lust. His body was in an extreme state. Any touch would cause the greatest reaction. He wanted to escape, but he had lost all his strength. The veil was dazzling. Shen Yu wanted to pull it away, but the man forced his hand away. You don't move. Take it away. Shen Yu sobbed softly. In front of his eyes was a bizarre scene. He lost track of time. Everything was shaking. His fingers curled up impatiently, wanting to grab something. The man whispered something in his ear. Shen Yu couldn't hear clearly. When he regained consciousness again, he didn't know how long it had been. Warm water was poured into his mouth. Shen Yu swallowed subconsciously. His dry throat was moistened and the discomfort lessened. He opened his eyes. Shang Junlin, who had changed back into his own clothes, was looking down at him. Seeing that he had woken up, Shang Junlin helped him sit up. Do you feel uncomfortable? Shen Yu carefully felt for a moment. Other than the soreness that came from everywhere, there was no other discomfort. He shook his head. After washing up, Shen Yu saw Ji Wuwang, who had come looking for him. I have already handed the moon lotus to someone in the clan who can lift the banning. They need a few days to discuss the specific treatment. The doctor you brought is also involved. Someone will come over to check on Shen Yu's body later and formulate a treatment plan according to his specific condition. Shen Yu nodded. Just as Ji Wuwang said. Not long after, several members of the Ji clan came to see him. Imperial physician Gu was with them. They had already learned about Shen Yu's physical condition from Imperial physician Gu. This time, they came to determine how deeply the banning had taken root in his body. Ji Wuwang didn't leave. Shen Yu looked at these members of the Ji clan. They didn't look young. One of them had deep wrinkles on his face and white hair. The others seemed to regard him as the leader. During the examination, he spoke. We need some of the young master's blood. How much? Although Shang Junlin knew that this was a necessary process, he was still somewhat displeased. Another person took out a small transparent cup. Fill it up. The cup was sealed. It was half a finger high and very thin. Since knowing that he was a member of the Ji clan, this wasn't the first time Shen Yu had been asked to bleed. Where's the dagger? He didn't have much opinion on this matter. I'll do it. Shang Junlin picked up the dagger handed over by the members of the Ji clan. The person holding the small cup opened it and placed it under Shen Yu's wrist. Shang Junlin held Shen Yu's hand and the dagger fell. The cup was quickly filled. Imperial physician Gu stepped forward and took out the medicine that he had already prepared for Shen Yu. Soon, the wound on Shen Yu's wrist stopped bleeding. The cup wasn't big and couldn't hold much blood. Other than the pain from the wound, Shen Yu didn't feel anything else. Feeling the hand holding him trembling slightly, Shen Yu covered it with his other hand and said softly, "It's okay, Your Majesty." Imperial physician Gu took Shen Yu's pulse and confirmed that the blood loss didn't affect Shen Yu. Only then did Shang Junlin feel relieved. Imperial physician Gu and the other members of the Ji clan retreated. His participation was the result of Ji Wuwang and Shang Junlin's compromise. It just so happened that he was familiar with Shen Yu's physical condition. This was something that the members of the Ji clan needed to be able to break the seal. During this time, Xinyu wasn't idle. He wanted to know more about the Ji clan and about his mother. He wanted to inquire about the past with Shang Junlin. Ji Wuwang didn't stop him. He even found a lot of books from the Ji clan and gave them to him. During the day, Xinyu would walk around with Shang Junlin. The Ji clan knew that they were guests brought back by the clan head, so they were very warm to them. Ji Wuwang didn't announce that Xinyu was a member of the Ji clan. "Does you like it here?" Shang Junlin suddenly asked. Chapter 226. Your Majesty, why do you ask this? Xinyu turned his head in surprise. "I feel that you seem to like this place very much." Shang Junlin looked ahead. He would ask this question only because Xinyu had a feeling that he was at ease living in the Ji clan during this period of time. "No way. Even if I like this place, it's because your Majesty is with me. If I'm alone, it doesn't matter where I am." Xinyu saw a stall selling snacks specially made by the Ji clan not far away. He pulled Shang Junlin over and said, "Your Majesty, I want to eat that." "Okay," Shang Junlin said in a pampering tone. As they walked and strolled, Shang Junlin would agree to whatever Xinyu wanted to buy without hesitation. Here, they were just themselves. They didn't have any shackles on them. At the stall selling sugar figurines, Xinyu asked the stall owner to make 2 figurines of himself and Shang Junlin. He took one for himself and gave the other one to Shang Junlin. "Your Majesty, look. Do these 2 sugar figurines look like the ones we ate before?" Xinyu was talking about the first New Year he spent in the palace. At that time, he didn't know that he would have such a relationship with Shang Junlin in the future. He asked the man to let him go out of the palace to play. Perhaps from that time he could see some clues about some things. For example, the man's indulgence towards him. The sugar figurines were very sweet. When he took a bite, it was crisp and sweet. Very similar. They were all made according to his and Xinyu's appearance. Naturally, they were similar. Recalling that time, Shang Junlin's eyes were also smiling. After eating the sugar figurines, the two continued to walk forward. Xinyu took a fancy to the novelty. He left Shang Junlin and went to see it alone. "Brother, buy a bunch of flowers." A little girl's sweet voice sounded. Xinyu looked for the source of the voice. He saw an 8 or 9-year-old girl blocking Shang Junlin's way and persistently asking him to buy flowers. "Brother, buy flowers for the person you like." The two of them looked at each other across the crowd. Xinyu smiled. Who would have thought that the dignified emperor of the Great Huan Kingdom would one day be stumped by a little girl? Xinyu stood in place with his arms crossed, watching the scene in front of him with great interest. The tall man squatted down and whispered something to the little girl. The little girl held the flowers in her hand and walked towards Xinyu. Shang Junlin followed behind her. "These are for beautiful brother." The little girl walked in front of Xinyu and gave the flowers in her hands to Xinyu. "Why did you give it to me?" "It's a gift from this big brother to the beautiful big brother. I wish the two big brothers 100 years of bliss and love is stronger than gold." The little girl's eyes were very big, and they were filled with pure joy. Xinyu took the flowers. "Thank you." After selling the flowers, the little girl skipped away. In a nearby attic, the white-haired man sat opposite Ji Wuwang and looked down. He's very happy now. Yes, the emperor of the Great Huan Kingdom treats him very well. Ji Wuwang said. That's good too. He found his home. After going around in circles, they still ended up together. The white-haired man had a complicated look in his eyes. 2 years ago, you said that you found him and wanted him to stay in the clan. Now it seems that this place won't be able to keep him. Ji Wuwang picked up his teacup and took a sip. Now that he has found a better home, he naturally doesn't need to stay here. I don't understand. You don't need to understand. Heaven and earth are reversed. The trajectory of fate will eventually return to the right track. Cough. The white-haired man covered his mouth and coughed out blood. Why did the situation get worse after this closed-door training? Ji Wuwang looked worried. It's fine. The white-haired man waved his hand and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Xinyu faintly felt that someone was looking at him. He looked back but didn't see anything. What's wrong? Shang Junlin noticed his sudden movement. Someone seems to be watching us. Xingyu expressed his feelings. Shang Junlin held his hand. Let's go back first. The two returned to the place where they lived. Xingyu didn't feel that he was being watched again. Ever since they arrived at the Ji clan's land, Xingyu was no longer as sleepy as before. It seemed to prove Ji Wuang's words. After returning to the room, Xingyu asked a maid for a vase and put the flowers he brought back in it. Their days in the Ji clan's land were very comfortable. The Ji clan's library was open to Xingyu and Shang Junlin was allowed to read it together. During this period of time, Xingyu and Shang Junlin's understanding of the Ji clan increased a lot. In the afternoon, Xingyu and Shang Junlin sat in the courtyard. Because the entire clan's land was in the mountains, the temperature wasn't too high. Compared to the capital, it was really like a summer palace to avoid the summer heat. Your Majesty, is there any movement outside? Xingyu leaned in the man's arms and asked. In the Ji clan's land, it was inconvenient to communicate with the outside world, but it wasn't completely impossible. Every once in a while, the hidden dragon guards would send in news from the outside world and bring out Shang Junlin's orders at the same time. There are some movements. Ayu's guess is right. Some people can't hold it in any longer. After Xingyu and Shang Junlin entered the clan's land, Gu Huai, who stayed outside, sped up. He already had someone in his hands, so he asked for clues and acted recklessly. As long as the person behind this wasn't a fool, he wouldn't be able to detect it. He did this to make the person behind this feel pressured. He wanted to tell them that even if they could still hide now, they wouldn't be able to hide for long. Once everything was exposed, there was only one path waiting for them. Countless examples were telling them what would happen if they went against the imperial court and Shang Junlin. The last person who did this was already beheaded and his power was uprooted. Gu Huai announced the news that he had found. The imperial court was in an uproar. They never thought that the epidemic in Lin County was caused by someone. The culprit was still locked up in prison. This matter must be reported as soon as possible and let His Majesty make a decision. More than one official thought so. After the news was sorted out, it was sent to the temporary imperial residence, and Fang Jun took over. Shang Junlin already knew about this before he left. Fang Jun followed Shang Junlin's instructions and gave the imperial court a reply. Every step was going according to plan. After the news was published in the civilian newspaper, it caused a huge uproar among the people. No wonder the imperial court didn't announce it at the beginning. It's because they didn't find the culprit. How can there be such a vicious person? That's hundreds of thousands of lives. If His Majesty didn't react in time, the area affected would be even larger. Lin County might not be the only one affected. I heard that the two people who were caught were instructed by someone. I don't know who that person is. No matter who it is, they should be sentenced to death. Am I the only one who suspects that this isn't the first time? Last year in Subei, as well as the disasters that happened in other places before that, were there also the shadows of people behind them? Now that you mention it, it's very likely. Not only in the capital, but everywhere in Dahuan was talking about this matter. Although the people weren't very knowledgeable, and many of them hadn't even been to school, they knew how disgusting it was to not take human lives seriously. Master, are we going to let the people outside talk about it? The imperial court didn't intend to suppress the news at all. They allowed it to spread to every corner of Dahuan. Perhaps they wanted to spread the news to some people. What else can we do? The person who spoke had a hoarse voice. It was impossible to tell his identity or age. Think of a way to deal with those two people. Master, don't worry. They won't know anything that they shouldn't know. Our people have already infiltrated. I guarantee that they'll be dealt with before they reveal more information. That Gu Huai, I don't know where His Majesty found him. He's quite capable. Give him a little more time, and he might really be able to dig something out. He seems to be related to the Lin family. But didn't the Lin family die? No matter what relationship he has with the Lin family, this person can't be left alive. Isn't he looking for the whereabouts of the Lin family's armor? Give him some clues and lead him there. But our people haven't found the mechanism there yet. What if they get the thing after we lead him there? If he can open the mechanism, it'll be a great help to me. You don't need me to teach you how to take advantage of others, do you? I understand. Shang Junlin received news from the northern desert. Shen Yu was in the Ji family's territory. Yinghua people couldn't come in for the time being. Shen Yu's source of information came from Shang Junlin. Sometimes he could get some information from Ji Wuwang. Shang Junlin. The civil strife in the northern desert has reached its climax. Jiang Huiqing is now in the middle of several forces. Yan Zheng has also established a relationship with one of the forces. We just need to consume some of their strength, and then we can take action. Shen Yu. It'll be great if we can directly solve the problem of the northern desert this time. Except for the northern desert, other small countries were not a threat to the Dahuan kingdom. As long as the ruler of the Dahuan kingdom didn't seek death, they wouldn't be bullied by others. Shang Junlin. Even if we can't do it this time, the northern desert won't become a big force in a short time. We have plenty of time to slowly wear them down. Shen Yu. Indeed. After this time, the northern desert will need a lot of time to recuperate. During this time, the Dahuan kingdom can do a lot of things. Under the night sky, Shen Yu and Shang Junlin walked side by side on a path. A crescent moon hung high in the night sky, surrounded by stars. Occasionally, a cool breeze would blow, and the temperature was pleasant. The wind blew the young man's long hair, which fell into Shang Junlin's hands and slipped from his fingertips. The two of them walked along the path. Recently, Imperial Physician Gu would come every day to take Shen Yu's pulse and adjust the medicine according to his physical condition. Because the process of removing the withdrawal guide was dangerous, his body must be adjusted to the best state before it was carried out. After a period of recuperation, Shen Yu's complexion recovered a lot. Why is the withdrawal guide suppressed here? What exactly is it? Shen Yu still couldn't figure it out. He flipped through many books in the Ji family's collection, but there was almost no introduction to the withdrawal guide. When he asked Ji Wuwang, he said that it was because the withdrawal guide was a forbidden technique of the Ji family. Other than the chosen people, no one else knew about it. Even he didn't know much about it. Shang Junlin held Shen Yu's hand. The young man's body temperature was still cold. Only after holding his hand for a long time could he feel some warmth. I have already asked the hidden dragon guards to investigate. In this place, there are very few people who know about the existence of the withdrawal guide. In the end, we might have to ask the people who removed the withdrawal guide for you. I have also asked Imperial Physician Gu to find out. When there is news, he will inform us. Unknowingly, the two of them walked on a path that they had never stepped on before. When they reacted, a dark door appeared in front of them. Shen Yu stopped walking. He didn't know why, but his heart was beating faster. What is this place? They had lived here for so long, but they had never seen such a place. Creak! The door opened in front of the two of them. Since you are here, why don't the two of you come in and have a seat? A low cough came from inside the room. Chapter 227. Shen Yu looked at Shang Junlin and felt his hand being grabbed. The two of them looked at each other and stepped into the door. The room was dark, but as they walked, it gradually lit up. In front of them, a white-haired man was sitting in front of a desk, as if he had been waiting for a long time. Shen Yu looked at the man in front of him. Although he had white hair, his face looked like he was in his 20s. Only his eyes contained the vicissitudes of life, and one could tell his real age. Who are you? After Shen Yu came to the Ji clan, under the guidance of Ji Wuwang, he met many people in the clan. The features of the man in front of him were so obvious. If he had seen him before, it was impossible for him not to have any impression of him. However, this man gave him an inexplicable sense of familiarity. I'm just an inconspicuous elder. The white-haired man put down the book in his hand. Aren't you curious about the existence of Jiayin? There are many books here that can help you solve your doubts. You asked us to come just for this? Shen Yu was suspicious. You can take a look first. I believe you have verified it yourself. There are many things that you can't ask from others. The doubts in your heart can be answered in this attic. It would be a waste not to take a look at the answers that were delivered to his door. At this time, the room was even brighter. Shen Yu saw that there were bookshelves all around. This was obviously a library, but they didn't notice it on their way here. What you want to know is in the third cabinet in the second row on the left. Xin Yu pulled Shang Junlin to the place the white-haired man said. There was only one thick book here. Xin Yu picked it up and looked at it. The book was very new, and it didn't seem to have been there for a long time. After opening it, the content inside was written in the Dahuan character. There were some differences between the characters commonly used in the Ji clan and the Dahuan character. Xin Yu thought that it would take some time to read it, but he didn't expect that the characters were changed to the Dahuan character. On the other side there were tables and chairs. Xin Yu and Shang Junlin walked over and sat down. They opened a book and started reading together. The first half of the book introduced the origin of Jie. It was said that the ancestor of the Ji family found a strange-looking little beast when he was gathering herbs in the mountains. He brought the little beast back to raise it. Later on, the little beast passed away. The ancestor of the Ji family used the little beast as a raw material to create a magical spell, and named it Jie. By relying on this little beast, the Ji family's ancestor learned how to borrow the power of the gods, determine life and death with a single word, predict the future with a single word, and all kinds of abilities that did not conform to common sense. The ancestor chose the smartest woman in the clan at that time and planted a precept in her so that she could manage the affairs of the clan. Those who received the precepts would become more intelligent, and it would be easier for them to grasp the Ji family's abilities. They would also be able to ensure that they would not age. Only after each generation of people who received the precepts died would the next generation appear. The chosen one would be known as the saintess who served the gods. She would have to dedicate everything to the gods. She would not be allowed to marry or give birth to the next generation. After hundreds of years of evolution, the Ji family went from being weak to being strong. When it was at its peak, the Ji family was equivalent to a country. Nothing could escape the principle of decline. After the peak of prosperity, the Ji family was the same. After its peak, it quickly fell. Because it had offended too many forces at its peak, the Ji family had to go into hibernation again. Xin Yu also found that each saintess of the Ji family would not be in office for more than 30 years. The book did not say how these saintesses died. It only said that when a saintess died, a new saintess would naturally appear and take over the position of the previous saintess. The content of the book was not long, so it did not take much time to finish reading. Xin Yu put down the book and walked in front of the white-haired man. My mother took the Jie and fled from the Ji family. Then who is the current saintess of the Ji family? According to the book, there had never been a situation where two saintesses existed at the same time in the Ji family. There is no saintess in the Ji family now. The white-haired man's expression changed for a moment, but it quickly returned to being expressionless. Your mother is not here, so the family cannot choose a new saintess. Combining all the conditions, you are actually very suitable. Xin Yu quickly reacted. You mean to be the saintess? One must be under the Jie question mark. You can understand it this way. Without the saintess, the mystery of the Ji family will gradually disappear. Your mother has already left for more than 20 years. At most, in another 10 years, the mysteries of the Ji family will no longer exist. Ji Wuwang asked me to come back, because he wanted me to be the saintess question mark. If it was not so, Xin Yu could not understand why Ji Wuwang would go through so much trouble to go to Dahuan's capital to find him. You can ask him for the answer yourself. He has no intention of harming you. As he spoke, the white-haired man covered his mouth and coughed a few times. Blood seeped out between his fingers. Are you okay? Xin Yu felt that compared to him, this person was more like a seriously ill person. Shang Junlin had been silently standing behind Xin Yu. Only when Xin Yu asked if Ji Wuwang wanted him to stay did his body slightly tense. The white-haired man took out a handkerchief and wiped away the blood with ease. I'm fine. The person that Ji Wuwang brought back once said something. Ji Wuwang said it was nonsense. I want to know if the people of your family can really predict the future. Shang Junlin suddenly spoke. Actually, the future is uncertain. Different choices will lead to different futures. The people of the Ji family can do divination, but what we can see is only one of the paths. As for what the future will be like, no one will know until the very last moment. You can treat it as real, or you can treat it as nonsense. The white-haired man seemed to be exhausted. After saying this, he showed the intention of sending them off. After the two left, Jiwuwang walked out from the secret door. Why did you tell them this? You were willing to disregard the survival of the Ji family and agreed to remove the seal for him. What's wrong with me telling them the truth? There was one thing that they didn't say. Before Xinyu, no one had ever removed the seal alive. Why was it that after the death of the previous saintess, a new saintess could be found so quickly? Because there was only one copy of the seal. It had been preserved until now, using the lives of generations of saintesses as nourishment. If one wanted to obtain extraordinary power, they had to pay a price. Now that the situation outside is stable, even without the barrier, the Ji family can still live well with the medical skills passed down. There's no need to be restrained for generations because of some unimportant things, Jiwuwang said. If he had thought like you back then, would there be such a situation today? What about you? What kind of future did you see 2 years ago? Why did you suddenly change from stopping me to standing by my side? I saw it. Destruction and hope. In the next few days, Xinyu didn't go out with Shang Junlin. He had to start the final preparations for removing the seal. He had to soak in the medicinal bath for 2 hours every day. The water in the tub was light green. As Xinyu soaked in it for longer, the color of the water would gradually fade and eventually become transparent white. When he was soaking in the medicinal bath, Shang Junlin would accompany him. Xinyu rested his arms on the edge of the tub and smiled at Shang Junlin. Your Majesty, tell me a story. Cold sweat kept oozing from his forehead. This medicinal bath was extremely stimulating to the body. When Xinyu first soaked in it, even though the Ji family had warned him in advance, he still almost jumped out. It was too painful. It was like countless needles dipped in salt water were piercing his skin and stirring inside. Especially when he first soaked in it, Xinyu was in so much pain that he couldn't feel anything outside. When the pain subsided, he found himself biting Shang Junlin's arm. His mouth was full of the taste of blood. He saw the heartache in the man's eyes. He saw that the man wished he could take his place. Suddenly, he didn't feel so painful. Later on, in order to divert his attention, he would talk to Shang Junlin. Although most of the time, he was listening to Shang Junlin. What does you want to hear? Shang Junlin's voice was gentle. His master tried to hide the heartache in his voice. I want to hear about your Majesty's past. Okay. The man's voice was low and gentle. As Xinyu listened, he seemed to see the Shang Junlin of that time. The young boy who shined on the battlefield. He had never seen the Shang Junlin before. Shang Junlin was very patient. Even if the story was repeated several times, his tone didn't change at all. When it was time, he carried Xinyu out of the tub, wrapped him up, and put him in the room next door. At this time, Xinyu had no strength at all. He leaned on Shang Junlin and looked up at him. Your Majesty, don't frown. After tidying up Xinyu, Shang Junlin called the people waiting outside to examine Xinyu's body. Imperial physician Gu first took Xinyu's pulse, then the other Ji family members. Finally, he took a drop of blood. Xinyu lowered his eyes and looked at his fingers. There were many wounds on his fingertips. Shang Junlin held his hand. Imperial physician Gu said that the preparations are almost done. In a few days, you won't have to suffer anymore. Every time he saw Xinyu in pain, Shang Junlin's heart felt like it was being cut by a blunt knife. At first, when Xinyu saw his uncomfortable appearance, he wanted to ask him to go outside so that he wouldn't feel uncomfortable. However, Shang Junlin didn't agree. No matter what, he wanted to stay by Xinyu's side. After resting for an hour, Xinyu's strength recovered. Although the medicinal bath was uncomfortable, Xinyu's body condition did improve a lot after the bath. Shang Junlin carried Xinyu and basked in the sun outside the house. The two of them were whispering something when Jiwuwang walked in from outside the courtyard. I just went to confirm it. Now we're just waiting for the results of the moon lotus. Can the moon lotus really bear fruit? Xinyu poked his head out of Shang Junlin's arms. Yes, its fruit is the most important ingredient. Didn't you notice that since you came to the clan, there are already small fruits under its bud? Xinyu really didn't notice this. After coming here, The moon lotus was taken away by Ji Wuwang. He said that he wanted to study it together. Since imperial physician Gu was there, Shen Yu didn't ask much. I met a white-haired man that day. He told me that you brought me back because you wanted me to be the saintess. Shen Yu stared at Ji Wuwang. Is that true? Yes. Ji Wuwang didn't deny his previous thoughts. But I changed my mind later. You don't have to worry about me taking the opportunity to do something. Since I promised to remove the seal for little you, I won't go back on my words. Why did you change your mind? If you want an answer, it's because of him. Ji Wuwang looked at Shang Junlin. You'll be happier with him than staying in the clan. Back then, what my father couldn't do for your mother, I hope I can do for you. Take it as a little compensation as an elder brother. Chapter 228. I came to find you today because of another matter. I got some information from the people who were captured. It has something to do with you. Do you want to hear it? Ji Wuwang went straight to the point. Is it Zhu Wang? Shen Yu patted Shang Junlin's arm. Shang Junlin carried him up and sat down in another place. I sent people to investigate Zhu Wang. In the end, they could only find his origin in Su Bei. There was nothing earlier than that. It's normal that you couldn't find anything. Ji Wuwang sat down opposite them. He used to be a member of the Ji family and lived in the Ji clan. Naturally, you couldn't find anything earlier than that. He was also one of the clan leader's men. Shen Yu hadn't forgotten that the source of all this was the person who tried to use the forbidden technique, but was disrupted by his mother. Yes, and he used to like your mother. Ji Wuwang sneered. These people are ridiculous. Once they liked her, they wanted to destroy her. After he escaped from the Ji clan, he used some unknown method to find your mother's whereabouts. However, he didn't tell his master. Instead, he wanted to threaten her. He didn't expect that even after leaving the clan, he was still no match for her. After he was defeated, he fled in a sorry state and revealed your mother's whereabouts. Did he have anything to do with my mother's death? That year, your mother died of exhaustion. In order to hide the news from you, she used the clan's forbidden technique to erase the memories of those who came in contact with her. So, there are no traces of her existence in the capital. Shen Yu pondered. Only when no one knows you are safe. In fact, in the beginning, no one knew that the seal could be passed to the child through the mother's body. Until one year, a confidant of the clan leader accidentally saw you in the capital. He felt the seal in your body. Then they sent people to the capital to capture you alive. Unfortunately, the people they sent were killed by an unknown force. Shen Yunian had encountered this assassination when he was young. Back then, if Shang Junlin hadn't intervened, no one knew what would have happened. Shen Yu turned to look at Shang Junlin and said softly, "Back then, it was your majesty who saved me." So that's how it is. Ji Wuwang finally understood. I've always been curious. Who has the ability to quietly eliminate such a large force and also arouse their vigilance? At first, I thought it was Northern Marquis who was secretly protecting you, but later I found out that it wasn't. It was true that Sir Jinbei had a certain amount of power, but this power was not strong enough to threaten those people. It would not be strange if it was Shang Junlin's men who made the move. Only this man had enough power to make people tremble in fear. What else are they planning? Shen Yu didn't think that the failure of a chase would make these people stop. If the hard way doesn't work, they will use the soft way. After discovering that you have the warning mark, they tried to control you to achieve their goal. The king of you was a chess piece that they had chosen. After gaining the king's trust, they deliberately said those words to arouse the king's interest in you. The king of you has always wanted my position. With such an order, how could he let it go? Thus, he began to secretly approach Au and Northern Marquis' concubine's son. If he succeeds, Au will definitely follow him. Maybe he will follow him to his fief. Once he leaves the capital, they will have less scruples if they want to make a move. Shang Junlin spoke out his guess. Shen Yu thought of his previous life when he arrived at the fief of the king of Yu. He had been sick for a long time. He thought that it was normal for him to be in poor health. Now, it seemed that this matter was a question mark. During that time, he was muddle-headed. It was hard to guarantee that the people who escaped from the Ji family didn't do anything to him. They have good intentions. They want you to work for them. Ji Wuwang recalled the scene in the dungeon. His face turned colder. The man was tied to the rack. There wasn't a single part of his body that was unharmed. Blood flowed from the corner of his eyes. He laughed wantonly. His tone was mixed with thick malice. Since she ruined our plan, isn't it appropriate for her child to pay for it? It's a pity that the king of you is a good-for-nothing. The situation was so advantageous for him, but he still messed it up. No wonder he couldn't defeat the current emperor of the Great Huan dynasty. What are these people trying to do? What is the motive of the clan leader who was exposed by my mother? Shen Yu's words pulled Ji Wuwang back from his thoughts. His mouth curved into a cold arc. They want to live forever. The previous holy maidens of the Ji family were able to maintain their looks. These people thought that it was because of the restraining guidance. Of course, this is the truth. At the same time, the restraining guidance will burn the life of the holy maidens as the price. These people are whimsical. They think that by consuming the heart blood of those who are under the restraining guidance, they can avoid the negative effects of the restraining guidance and achieve the effect of eternal beauty. Xinyu only felt a chill. Shang Junlin felt that something was wrong with him. He hugged him tightly. His heart was filled with fear and uncontrollable anger. The person he couldn't bear to hurt was actually coveted by others. Can it really be achieved? Xinyu asked. Ji Wuwang shook his head. No, but those people have already gone crazy. They believe it without a doubt. That year, your mother found out that there was something wrong with the death of the previous holy maiden. She secretly investigated and found out about this matter. You said before that my mother found out that the clan leader was using a forbidden technique. That's not wrong. The Ji family is famous for its medicine. In the Ji family's library, there are many strange prescriptions that have not been verified. These prescriptions, whether it's the method or the effect, are strange. They are all called forbidden techniques. Aren't you guys investigating Fei Meng? This medicine was first leaked out from the Ji family. However, the current Fei Meng is very different from the original one. I want to see the person you brought back. There's nothing to see. If you really want to see him, you can go after dealing with the restraining guidance in your body. Ji Wuwang was worried that those people had a backup plan that would cause harm to Xinyu. These people had spent a lot of time and effort on restraining guidance for 10 years. They might have some hidden cards that they didn't know about. Because of Xinyu's mother, their reputation was ruined. Now because of Xinyu, they were on trial. All of their hatred was focused on Xinyu. Ji Wuwang wouldn't let Xinyu take the risk at this time. It was rare for Shang Junlin to stand on the same side as Ji Wuwang. Clan leader Ji is right. If Yu wants to see those people, he can go after his body recovers. Xinyu wasn't in a hurry to see those people, so he agreed. He thought that some of the mysteries of his previous life might be solved soon. Xinyu's days in the Ji family were as usual. No one dared to disturb them. Shang Junlin also accompanied him by his side. It felt as if they were an ordinary couple. Shang Junlin didn't need to go to court in the morning. Every day, when Xinyu woke up, he could see him by his bedside. After washing up, the two of them would have breakfast together. Then they would go shopping and buy some small things. If Xinyu was interested in something, Shang Junlin would bring him to take a look. The atmosphere in the Ji family was slightly more open than Dahuan. If the men and women here met someone they liked, they would directly invite them. If they were more daring, they would directly invite the guest to their home. If they were suitable, they would quickly become a couple. If they weren't, they would peacefully separate and pursue someone else. Xinyu and Shang Junlin always went in and out together. They behaved intimately. Even if they had feelings for someone, they wouldn't tactfully approach them. On this day, Shang Junlin suddenly had something to do. Xinyu walked out alone. His appearance was outstanding and his temperament was extraordinary. As soon as he appeared on the street, he attracted most of the attention. Xinyu walked to a stall that sold small things. The stall had various small things carved out of wood and stone. Each of them was very lively and lifelike. When he came with Shang Junlin before, Xinyu didn't see this stall owner. He curiously walked over. Did you carve all these yourself? Yes. If you have anything else you want, I can carve them. Xinyu looked around and picked up a carving of a black wolf and a carving of a white cat. How much are these two? Before the stall owner answered, a few young men and women squeezed in. The leading woman said, "What does this young master want? I will pay." "No need." The woman waved her hand. "You are good-looking. I am willing to give them to you. You don't have to say anything." Xinyu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't expect that one day he would receive such treatment because of his good looks. He didn't feel any malice or other bad emotions from the woman. As the woman said, she wanted to give them to him because he was good-looking. Then one. Xinyu thought for a while and put the black wolf down. The woman paid the bill and left with her men. Xinyu was afraid that a similar situation would happen again. He just looked around and didn't buy anything. On the way, many people tried to invite him, but they were all rejected. When Shang Junlin was here, this kind of situation didn't happen. Xinyu felt that it was better for him to go back first. When Shang Junlin had time, he would go out with him. Shang Junlin was dealing with the letters from outside the Ji clan's territory. Every once in a while, Fang Jun would send the movements of the palace and the imperial court, as well as some reports that he had to deal with, to the clan's territory. After he was done, he would send them back. Through these letters, he could understand what was going on outside. For example, some people couldn't sit still and started to do all sorts of things to test the waters. Shang Junlin watched coldly from the side and waited for these people to jump out before getting rid of them. After dealing with all the letters, Shang Junlin put down his pen and rubbed his eyebrows. He looked around the house and didn't see anyone familiar. Suddenly, he remembered that Xinyu went out alone today. Shang Junlin called out the hidden dragon guards and asked, "What is Guijun doing?" The hidden dragon guards told him what happened to Xinyu. They followed Xinyu mainly to protect Xinyu's safety. After all, there were people from the Ji clan who tried to harm Xinyu. Although Ji Wuwang killed them, no one could guarantee that there wouldn't be any accidents. The hidden dragon guards followed behind and reported to Shang Junlin. Xinyu tacitly agreed to it. He knew that Shang Junlin was uneasy and wouldn't be so arrogant to think that the Ji clan's territory was completely safe. With the hidden dragon guards following them, they could prevent many bad things from happening. Xinyu came back earlier than expected. When he placed his hand on the door, it was opened from the inside. Then a strong force pulled him in. He was caught off guard and was hugged. Feeling a familiar aura, Xinyu's stiff body relaxed. "What are you doing, Your Majesty? You is so popular." Shang Junlin used the tip of his nose to rub the neck of the person in his arms. Xinyu paused and said ambiguously, "Your Majesty, do you know that you look like a little wife waiting for her husband to return?" Chapter 229. Little Wife. Shang Junlin hugged her in front of him. Since Ayu knows that she's alone in the boudoir, shouldn't she give her little wife some compensation? "What kind of compensation does Your Majesty want?" Xinyu hugged Shang Junlin's neck and whispered in his ear. "Is a kiss enough?" "Of course." Shang Junlin narrowed his eyes dangerously. "Not enough." Feeling the change in his body, Xinyu leaned forward and his lips were almost touching the man's. "Is it really not enough? You can compensate a little more." Shang Junlin lowered his head and kissed the lips that were close to his mouth. Xinyu stepped back. "Since Your Majesty thinks that it is not enough, I will think of other ways to compensate. You can compensate a little first. We will talk about the rest after the compensation is done." Shang Junlin held the young man's back and stopped him from leaving. Xinyu blinked and kissed him. Shang Junlin did not move, but Xinyu took the initiative. He narrowed his eyes and looked at the man's face through the corner of his eyes. This face had stunned him at first sight. Even after so long, he was still moved when he looked at it again. The strength of the kiss kept increasing. Xinyu enjoyed the feeling of being in control of everything. Their breaths were close. Shang Junlin was leaning against the door, and Xinyu was in front of him. The afterglow of the setting sun cast a hazy edge over them. After the kiss, Xinyu raised his head. "Is Your Majesty satisfied with this compensation?" The two were so close that they could feel each other's breathing. Xin Yu's heart was beating very fast. Shang Junlin was not to be outdone. His deep eyes fell on Xin Yu. You can take more initiative. Shang Junlin's hand rubbed Xin Yu's waist suggestively. What kind of initiative does your majesty want? Shang Junlin leaned close to Xin Yu's ear and whispered a few words, which successfully made the young man's already flushed cheeks redder. And the redness continued to spread downwards. Then, Xin Yu pretended to be hesitant. It's agreed that His Majesty can't be touched. Sure. You will take the initiative later. Shang Junlin's voice became hoarse, and his tone was filled with lust. It turned out that doing everything by herself was too tiring. Xin Yu sat on the man's body and didn't want to move. Didn't you say that everything will be under a Yu's control? Is a Yu tired? Shang Junlin's voice sounded with a hint of laughter. His voice was much deeper than usual, and when it entered her ears, it made her feel a tingling sensation. Xin Yu separated his knees and knelt on both sides of the man. He wanted to cover his face. He was really tired. His whole body's strength was almost exhausted, but he couldn't move up or down and couldn't touch anything. However, the man kept his promise and didn't move. Xin Yu glared at him several times, but he just looked at him dotingly. Well, there was even a hint of encouragement in his eyes. The young man's clothes hung down and moved up and down with his master's movements. The corners of his eyes seemed to be smeared with rouge, dark red and attractive. His eyes were misty, and he occasionally whispered. It was as if he was scolding a man who didn't know how to exert himself. In the end, Xin Yu was exhausted, and the man helplessly and dotingly took over. Your Majesty should be satisfied this time, right? Even if he wasn't satisfied, Xin Yu didn't have the strength to do anything. Fortunately, the man gave a positive answer. I am satisfied. Shang Junlin's voice was hoarse. If you are satisfied, shouldn't your Majesty let go of me? Xin Yu moved his body, and his eyes fell on the man's arm around his waist. Upon hearing this, Shang Junlin slightly loosened his arm, but he didn't really let go of Xin Yu. He just made more space between his arms. Xin Yu didn't insist on getting up and leaving. He leaned on the man's shoulder and slowly calmed his breathing. Your Majesty knows what happened to me outside. It's better to go out with your Majesty. No one will disturb us. Without waiting for Shang Junlin to answer, Xin Yu sighed with emotion. Speaking of this, Shang Junlin's jealousy, which had been suppressed with great difficulty, surged again. He always knew that Xin Yu was very popular. When the two of them went out together, in places where Xin Yu didn't notice, he used his eyes to stop many people who tried to talk to them. It wasn't that no one came forward, but that he noticed them in advance and stopped them. Naturally, he wouldn't say these words to Xin Yu. He stroked Xin Yu's long hair and said, I will spare some time in the future to accompany you. Xin Yu remembered the reason why he went out alone this time, and looked around. Your Majesty, have you finished dealing with your affairs? Shang Junlin hugged Xin Yu's waist and pulled him into his arms. The Prime Minister and Fang Jun can deal with the affairs of the Imperial Court. I just need to take a look. Did anything major happen in the Imperial Court? Counting the days, they had been out for more than 20 days. No, but Gu Huai made a big discovery. Shang Junlin stood up with Xin Yu in his arms, walked to the clean soft couch, and sat down. The soft couch in the room was very similar to the one Xin Yu had in the Imperial Palace. It was specially arranged by Ji Wuwang. It was probably made according to Xin Yu's preferences. The other appliances were also made to fit Xin Yu's living habits as much as possible. General Gu found a new clue about Fei Meng. This was the first thing Xin Yu thought of. It's another matter. Do you remember what Grand Tutor Zeng said before? The previous emperor left behind a batch of battle armor. Gu Huai found the whereabouts of this batch of battle armor, and has already led people to look for it. Even when De Huan was at its most prosperous, it wasn't easy to mass-produce battle armor. Because the Lin family had protected the country for generations, in addition to having an elite army, they also had a batch of expensive battle armor. It was just that the whereabouts of this batch of battle armor were unknown following the fall of the Lin family. If Grand Tutor Zheng's words were true, this batch of battle armor was in the hands of the previous emperor, and the extermination of the Lin family couldn't be unrelated to the previous emperor. It doesn't feel normal to suddenly have news of their whereabouts at this time. Shen Yu knew that Shang Junlin had always sent people to search for the whereabouts of these things. It didn't make sense that they couldn't find any news before, but now the news came to their doorstep. Shang Junlin. The mastermind behind this might want to take advantage of this opportunity to do something, but Gu Huai wasn't completely unprepared. The remaining 200,000 or so soldiers might include the old subordinates of the Lin family. I gave the Lin family's military seal to Gu Huai in case of an emergency. Shen Yu. Back then, the Lin family had so many soldiers under their command. Other than the ones that got into trouble with the Lin family, what about the rest? Shang Junlin. The ones that got into trouble with the Lin family were the most direct descendants of the Lin family. This is one of the reasons why the people left behind by the Lin family in the capital couldn't resist at all. Some of the remaining people were merged into other armies, and some of them are still missing. Your Majesty suspects that these people were detained by the previous emperor? It wasn't impossible. Otherwise, where did the previous emperor's 500,000 soldiers come from? When Gu Huai investigates, we'll know the result. Shang Junlin called for hot water. The two of them washed up, and the sky was already dark. After Gu Huai received Shang Junlin's reply, he led people to follow the clues to find the missing armor. He got the clue by chance. After searching for so long, he still couldn't find it. Suddenly, it appeared at this moment. Even if the disguise was very good, Gu Huai knew that there was someone behind this. General, it's just in front. Gu Huai retracted his thoughts and looked ahead. In the endless mountain range, there were few signs of human habitation. Besides them, there seemed to be no one else around. Gu Huai raised his hand and gestured for them to move. The group of people quietly walked into the deep mountain. According to the map, they went around a winding path, and what appeared in front of them was a stone door embedded into the stone wall. No wonder we couldn't find it before. It was hidden in such a deep place. A soldier sighed. General, what should we do next? The stone door in front of them was about the height of 3 people. It would be difficult to open it without strength. There were some patterns carved on the stone door. They felt that these patterns were familiar, but they couldn't remember where they had seen them. Gu Huai looked at the patterns on the stone door. His eyes were filled with an indescribable emotion. This was the pattern on the Lin clan's emblem. Gu Huai could forget anything but this. There was a groove on the stone door. Gu Huai dismounted, walked to the stone door, and placed the Lin clan's military seal that Shang Junlin had given him. The size was just right. Rumble. After a loud noise, the stone door that had been sealed for more than a decade slowly opened. Gu Huai led people in. On the other side. How's the progress? Master, they've already gone in. They're still young and not cautious enough. Since the fish have taken the bait, tell the people over there to act according to the situation. Yes. A silent massacre was brewing in the dark. Who was the hunter and who was the prey? Until the end, who could guess? Shen Yu rested for a night. When he heard Ji Wuwang say that the moon lotus had borne fruit, he dragged Shang Junlin to take a look. The moon lotus was raised alone in a large hall. According to Ji Wuwang, this was the sacred place of the Ji clan. It was also where the moon lotus originally lived. When Shen Yu and Shang Junlin walked in side by side, they immediately saw the moon lotus bathed in sunlight. Under the sunlight, the entire flower seemed to be glowing. In the middle of the huge flower bud, there was a small fruit sleeping quietly. Shen Yu approached and looked at the round ball in the flower. Is this the fruit of the moon lotus ? Yes. How long will it bloom? Shen Yu originally thought that the flower would wither when it bore fruit. However, the flower in front of him was full of vitality and showed no signs of withering at all. It can take as long as it takes. The fruit in the flower is the essence of the flower. When the fruit ripens, it will naturally fall. Those people said that the time is almost up. This meant that the warning in Shen Yu's body could be removed soon. As Shen Yu approached, one of the leaves of the moon lotus bent towards Shen Yu. Although Shen Yu was talking to Ji Wuwang, he still noticed it. He pointed at the flower and asked, "Is it conscious? How is that possible?" Ji Wuwang chuckled. It seems to like being close to me. Xinyu told him what had happened in the palace. Because of the warning in your body, the two interact. As long as you get close, it will unconsciously lean towards you and act very close to you, Ji Wuwang explained. So that's how it is. Xinyu continued to look at the flower in front of him. It was different from the palace. Here the moon lotus was planted in the water. The water was silvery white. Ji Wuwang said that this was a special nutrient that could promote the moon lotus to bear fruit. Under the sunlight, the water was sparkling. Suddenly, a black shadow dashed out from who knows where, and headed straight for Xinyu. Shang Junlin quickly pulled Xinyu into his arms. At the same time, Ji Wuwang made his move. As soon as the black shadow approached, it was restrained. It was a child in his teens. He looked at Xinyu with eyes full of hatred. Chapter 230. Xinyu was protected in the man's arms and could feel the man's anger. Is this what you meant when you said that you had solved the problem in the clan, and that no one would harm you? Shang Junlin's tone was cold and filled with killing intent. It's my negligence. Ji Wuwang sighed. I will give you an explanation. The commotion inside alerted the people outside. Not long after, the Ji clan's guards rushed in and took over the child who wanted to assassinate Xinyu from Ji Wuwang's sword. Xinyu then realized that the child was holding a sharp dagger in his hand. The dagger glowed blue under the sunlight. It must have been coated with poison. Shang Junlin also noticed this and his voice became colder. You should give us an explanation. Why did he encounter an assassination attempt in the sacred ground, which was said to be the safest place in the world? Who arranged this behind the scenes? How did this child manage to escape the layers of guards and hide in the sacred ground? What was his identity? Countless questions lingered in his mind. The most important question was, other than this child, was there anyone else who wanted to harm Xinyu? There can't be any mistakes in the process of removing the seal. During this period of time, I will carefully investigate the situation in the clan again. Ji Wuwang's expression was also very ugly. Before he left for Dahuan City, he had already cleaned the entire Ji clan. He didn't expect that there would still be a fish that escaped the net. Xinyu sized up the child who was being restrained by the guards. He was very sure that after he came to the Ji clan, he didn't make any enemies. Then, this hatred could have been passed down from his mother's generation. Why do you want to kill me? Xinyu looked into the child's eyes and asked. The child said something softly, but Xinyu didn't hear it clearly. After that, he pursed his lips and didn't say anything else. Xinyu believed that Ji Wuwang would give him a satisfactory explanation and wouldn't waste any more time on this child. Shang Junlin was in Xinyu's embrace. His body was tense and he was in a highly defensive position. The hidden dragon guards surrounded the two of them. I want to participate in the entire process. When Shang Junlin spoke, his cold gaze fell on the child. His meaning was self-evident. An elder beside Ji Wuwang who had rushed over upon hearing the news subconsciously refused. This is the Ji family's matter, you. Sure. Without waiting for him to finish, Ji Wuwang agreed. This matter involved Xinyu, which was equivalent to touching Shang Junlin's reverse scale. Ji Wuwang knew that it was unrealistic to not let Shang Junlin participate. The elder still wanted to say something, but when he saw Ji Wuwang's stern expression, he silently swallowed his words. Their family head, when it came to matters related to his younger brother, would not listen to the advice of others. Moreover, they were indeed in the wrong this time. Shang Junlin brought Xinyu back first, while Ji Wuwang led his men to detain the child. Along the way, Shang Junlin did not say anything. Xinyu held Shang Junlin's hand and scratched his palm. Your Majesty, are you still angry? Shang Junlin held his hand tightly. I'm angry that I didn't discover the danger in advance. How can this kind of thing be predicted in advance? Aren't I fine now? Your Majesty, don't think too much. With Your Majesty around, you won't let anyone hurt me, right? Yes, as long as I'm around, I won't allow anyone to hurt you in any way. After returning to the courtyard where they were temporarily staying, Shang Junlin went to Ji Wuwang's place to deal with the assassination. He would not let anyone who dared to harm Xinyu off easily. Ji Wuwang's men immediately went to investigate. There were not many people who could get close to the sacred grounds, so the scope of the investigation was narrowed down. Moreover, Ji Wuwang was not completely clueless. Shen Yu did not go. He stayed in the house to recuperate. With Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang's men guarding outside the house, the degree of danger was minimized. However, it was not completely free of danger. A maid walked over with snacks. Shen Yu glanced at her face. It was a face that he had never seen before. Shen Yu loved all kinds of snacks. Since Ji Wuwang brought him back, he would definitely treat him well. Every day he would take turns making snacks and have a designated maid deliver them to him. Shen Yu remembered the maid's appearance. She was not the same person who appeared today. He calmly retracted his gaze. This maid was able to get close to him, which meant that the hidden dragon guards and Ji Wuwang did not find anything wrong with her. However, this did not mean that there was nothing wrong with the maid. It was always right to be careful. You don't have to bring it over. Just leave it over there. Shen Yu pointed to the table on the other side. Yes. The maid stopped in her tracks and was about to turn around. In the blink of an eye, the maid twisted her body strangely and pounced toward Shen Yu. Shen Yu dodged to the side and reached out to grab the maid's arm. A silver light flashed between the maid's fingers. Shen Yu narrowed his eyes and saw that it was a long needle. He did not know where the maid had hidden it. Bang! The hidden dragon guards heard the commotion and broke through the window. They quickly restrained the maid and separated Shen Yu from the danger. I am late. Please forgive me. The leader of the hidden dragon guards knelt on the ground. Shen Yu nodded. Ask her who sent her and if she has any accomplices. Shen Yu had encountered 2 assassination attempts in one day. However, his expression did not change at all. The hidden dragon guards sighed in their hearts. He was indeed someone who could win the emperor's heart. However, how many people could be so fearless in the face of danger? The hidden dragon guards escorted the maid out. You don't have to take her away. Just ask her here. I also want to know who is the one who tried to kill me time and time again. Shen Yu stopped the hidden dragon guards from leaving. His voice was not loud, but it was powerful. At that moment, the hidden dragon guards suddenly felt that the person standing in front of them was not the quiet emperor, but the powerful emperor. The hidden dragon guards escorted the maid to Shen Yu. Shen Yu lowered his head and looked at her. Today I encountered an assassination attempt in the sacred grounds. The person who tried to assassinate me was a child who was about 10 years old. What is your relationship with him? The maid lowered her head and did not speak. It's fine if you don't want to tell me. Actually, I am quite curious about the use of this needle. What do you think if I use it on the child? No. The maid raised her head. This has nothing to do with him. But it is a fact that he hid in the sacred grounds and tried to assassinate me. Now he has been taken away by your leader. If you tell me now, you might be able to save his life. What? The maid panicked. What did you do to him? At that moment, Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang walked in with their men. They rushed over when they heard the news. When they saw that Shen Yu was standing in the room, they heaved a sigh of relief. Shang Junlin walked towards Shen Yu. Without saying a word, he pulled him into his arms and said, I shouldn't have left you alone. How long had he left? Something happened again. I'm fine. Shen Yu patted the man's back to comfort him. I'm really fine. Don't worry. On the way here, Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang had already understood the general situation. When they looked at the maid, their eyes were very unfriendly. The person in charge of the arrangement of the maids was called in and asked what had happened. The person in charge endured the pressure and revealed the maid's origin. There was indeed no problem with the maid's identity. It was just that something had happened to the maid who was responsible for delivering snacks to Shen Yu today. This matter was handed over to this maid. The person in charge would never have thought that the accident was caused by someone. This maid had taken over this task with a purpose from the beginning. Ji Wuwang's actions were very fast. It did not take long for him to find out the cause and effect of this matter. The Ji family had undergone several major purges under his control. It was very easy for him to find out some things. In the courtyard, Shen Yu, Shang Junlin, and Ji Wuwang sat in front of a stone table. Shen Yu asked, that is to say, this matter was left behind by history? Yes. The clan leader who was stopped by your mother was very powerful in the family. Other than those who followed him, I spent many years to remove the remaining forces one by one. But I did not expect that even so, there were still people who secretly wanted to avenge him. Ji Wuwang said. This is normal. He has been in the Ji family for so many years. There are people who are dissatisfied with his actions, but there are also people who support his actions. Shang Junlin said coldly. What about the child's identity? Have you found out? Shen Yu asked. His mother was a maid who served the clan leader. She was quite useful. When that person left, he promised the maid that he would marry her when he returned. She believed him, but only received news of that person's death. Coupled with the fact that I had purged the clan's power on a large scale back then, she submitted herself to a wealthy merchant. After giving birth to the child, she has been instilling in the child the thought of avenging that person. Ji Wuwang replied, using her own child as a tool for revenge. Shen Yu did not comment on this practice. Did she not think that she was deceived? That person left a small number of people for her. Because of this, she believed that she was not abandoned. This matter can help me eliminate the last batch of forces left behind by that person. It was impossible for a child to enter the heavily guarded Holy Land without anyone's help. Ji Wuwang could use this opportunity to wipe out all the hidden forces in one fell swoop. What about the maid who came to assassinate me alone? She seems to value that child very much. Shen Yu held Shang Junlin's hand in his hand and pinched it from time to time. Shang Junlin indulged his actions. When he heard about the maid who almost hurt Shen Yu, his doting expression instantly turned cold. Before she came on duty, she was responsible for taking care of the child. Moreover, they seem to think that the child is their clan leader's child. Whether this matter is true or not is not important. Ji Wuwang had been dealing with these people for a long time. He knew that it was difficult to change their minds. However, he did not intend to change their minds. He could just directly catch them and deal with them. Why waste his breath? In the next few days, there may be some turmoil in the clan's land. I will arrange for people to guard here and not let anyone disturb us. Shang Junlin did not care about the internal affairs of the Ji family. However, if it involved Shen Yu, Shang Junlin would definitely care. He reminded Ji Wuwang. Don't forget what you promised me. I will leave them for you. You can deal with them however you want. Ji Wuwang nodded. He was referring to the two people who tried to assassinate Shen Yu. Time passed day by day. Shen Yu did not feel anything. However, he clearly felt that Shang Junlin was getting more and more uneasy. He did not know what the man was uneasy about. Whenever he asked during the day, Shang Junlin would change the topic. Once again, Shen Yu felt someone's gaze on his face in the middle of the night. He resisted the sleepiness and opened his eyes. Shang Junlin did not expect him to suddenly wake up. He was obviously startled. Shen Yu raised his hand and touched Shang Junlin's face. Your Majesty, what are you afraid of? Chapter 231. I didn't. Shang Junlin subconsciously retorted. Shen Yu frowned. Your Majesty, you can't fool me. Shang Junlin was silent. Of course, he knew that he couldn't fool Shen Yu with his condition. But how could he say it? Could he say that it was because he had a dream and he was afraid of losing Shen Yu? His thoughts drifted back to a few days ago. In his dream, Shang Junlin saw Shen Yu slowly closing his eyes as his vitality dried up. It was like a magic spell. Even though he woke up and knew that it was fake, Shang Junlin couldn't help but think about it again and again. What if one day the things in the dream become reality? Shang Junlin didn't dare to think about his reaction if it happened. He knew that he couldn't bear such an outcome. After waking up that night, he opened his eyes and looked at Shen Yu for the entire night. It was as if he couldn't get enough of it. He didn't dare to close his eyes. He was afraid that if he closed his eyes, the scene in his dream would appear in his mind. In addition, the day when Shen Yu would remove the seal was approaching. Although he repeatedly confirmed that there wouldn't be any danger, he still couldn't feel at ease. In the dim candlelight, Shen Yu stared at Shang Junlin's eyes. He saw struggle, pain, uneasiness. He saw all kinds of emotions in Shang Junlin's eyes. In the end, these emotions were suppressed by their master, and could no longer be seen. If there's anything, your majesty can tell me. Don't keep it in your heart, Shen Yu said in a soft tone, as if he was coaxing Shang Junlin. Your majesty, you can tell me. I don't want your majesty to fall again when I get better. What I want is a healthy your majesty who can walk down the path with me. Shang Junlin hugged Shen Yu even tighter. Their bodies were tightly pressed together. Their body heat was transmitted to each other through their thin clothes. Gradually, they became indistinguishable. Shen had a nightmare. Shang Junlin pressed Shen Yu's head on his shoulder, not letting him see his face. In the dream, there was only a Yu, there was no Zhen. In the end, a Yu was also gone. His Majesty also said that this is just a nightmare. Shen Yu gently patted Shang Junlin's back and gently comforted him. Dreams can't be taken as reality. I'm here in His Majesty's arms, and I will never leave. I know. I'm just a little scared. I can't lose you. Shang Junlin lowered his head and kissed Shen Yu's face. Yu, I love you very much. Shen Yu lay quietly in Shang Junlin's arms, letting him do whatever he wanted. His Majesty won't lose me. I also like His Majesty very much. I like His Majesty more than anything else. His Majesty has already provoked me and taken root in my heart. Even if one day you want to regret it, I won't allow it. This was the first time Shen Yu showed possessiveness towards Shang Junlin. Not only did it not make the Emperor of Dahuan dissatisfied, but it also soothed the uneasiness in his heart. He rubbed the young man in his arms, and his voice was filled with excitement. Zhen won't regret it. You can't regret it either. Yu's heart towards Zhen. Zhen will never let you down. You can't let Zhen down either, no matter what. Shen Yu raised his head and found the position of Shang Junlin's lips. He took the initiative to kiss them. Okay, it's a promise. After an open and honest conversation, Shang Junlin's condition seemed to be better. Shen Yu could roughly guess that the man's uneasiness came from his own body. After getting rid of the warning in his body, he would have plenty of time to calm Shang Junlin's heart. Ji Wuwang's purge was very fast. After a few days, the Ji clan quietly lost some people. These people didn't have a strong sense of presence, so even if they suddenly disappeared, no one would notice anything wrong. Shang Junlin would occasionally go out to discuss matters with Ji Wuwang. Shen Yu didn't participate, so he didn't know what they talked about in private. His daily life was very simple. As he couldn't think too much, many things were directly handled by Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang. They didn't come to him. After the assassination that day, the people serving him changed. Shen Yu could feel from the words and actions of some of the servants that they weren't simple servants. Shen Yu's side was protected by the hidden dragon guards and Ji Wuwang's men. The previous incident had left a shadow in their hearts. They definitely wouldn't allow something similar to happen again. Imperial physician Gu continued to take Shen Yu's pulse once a day. Then he would discuss with the person in charge of removing the warning in the Ji clan how to minimize the harm to Shen Yu's body. The Ji clan's library had a lot of unique medical books. As the imperial physician in charge of nursing Shen Yu's body, he could borrow these books. During this period of time, imperial physician Gu had absorbed a lot of knowledge. This situation is very special. Although the warning will absorb the vitality in the body, to a certain extent, the existence of the warning also protects young Master Shen Yu's body. If it wasn't for the existence of the warning, his illness would be more serious than it is now. A member of the Ji clan said. Imperial physician Gu was having a discussion with the person in charge of removing the warning in the hall. During this period of time, he had a better understanding of the warning. He knew that before Shen Yu, the warning would be removed from the saint's body when her vitality was about to be sucked dry. Then, it would be implanted into the body of the next saint, and the cycle would repeat. When the warning was removed, the saint would lose her value and would die in a short period of time. However, it was different this time. What they had to do was to protect Shen Yu. The method discussed before can be used, but there are still some shortcomings. If we can find a way to improve it, we can make it so that it won't cause any damage to the host. The fruit of the moon lotus is about to ripen. We have to hurry. Imperial physician Gu also joined the discussion. In the beginning, he didn't have much authority among these people. However, after he quickly absorbed the knowledge related to the warning, his suggestions became more and more targeted. After solving several difficult problems, he completely integrated into the discussion and knew more and more inside information. He would report everything he knew to Shang Junlin. If the situation didn't allow it, Shang Junlin would have personally watched these people. After discussing with Ji Wuwang, Shang Junlin returned. When he stepped into the courtyard, he saw a young man sitting in the corridor reading a book. The young man was wearing a green robe. When he heard the footsteps, he put down his book and looked up. "Your Majesty, you're back?" Shang Junlin walked over and picked him up. "Did you miss me? How long has your Majesty been away?" Shin Yu raised his eyebrows. "Even if I was away for a quarter of an hour, I was still thinking about you all the time." Shang Junlin sniffed Shin Yu's unique scent and gradually calmed down. The Ji clan was isolated from the rest of the world, and almost couldn't feel the various disturbances in the outside world. In the palace, Fang Jun finished dealing with the matters at hand. A servant quietly pushed open the door and entered. "Sir, a secret letter from the capital." Fang Jun took the letter. After reading it, he placed the letter on a candle and lit it. Some people couldn't sit still anymore. The capital. Everything seemed to be the same as when Shang Junlin was here. However, those who were sensitive could faintly feel that a huge wave was brewing under the calm surface. Duan Darren was preparing to leave as usual when an uninvited guest appeared in the residence. "Sir, have you thought about it?" In the study, a man in gray sat opposite Duan Darren. He took out a brocade box from his sleeve. "This is a meeting gift from my master. I hope you like it. I'm now in the cabinet. Why do you think I can agree to your request? I believe you know the price of betraying His Majesty." Duan Darren didn't even look at the brocade box. "Sir, it's true that you're a cabinet minister. It's also because of this reason that you know better than anyone else about His Majesty's attitude towards the aristocratic families. His Majesty is suppressing the aristocratic families everywhere. Do you want to watch the aristocratic families fall step by step?" The man in gray's tone didn't change. Duan Darren was silent. After a long while he compromised. "What do you want me to do?" The man in gray smiled. "Sir, you don't have to be nervous. You just need to delay the Prime Minister. As for what to do, when the time comes, someone will inform you. After the matter is done, my master will give you what you want as promised. Almost everyone in the capital is His Majesty's people. Even if he's not here now, what can you do?" Duan Darren seemed puzzled. "Sir, you'll know when the time comes. You're not willing to say anything. How can I believe you?" Duan Darren played with the cup in his hand. "I'm a first-rank minister after all. It doesn't seem like I need to take such a big risk. You entered the Duan residence alone. Aren't you afraid that I'll take credit for it?" The man in gray's expression changed slightly. Why did he dare to come alone? It was Duan Darren who revealed the information of cooperation. "Sir, your considerations are reasonable. Since you're already one of us, there's no harm in telling you in advance. We have people in the Imperial Army. When the time comes, we'll directly take control of the palace." Duan Darren's expression didn't change. "I see. I understand. Without King Yu, who do you plan to support this time?" "The 17th prince has just come of age. He's the most intelligent and obedient child. What do you think, sir?" The 17th prince, Shang Junlin, wasn't even 10 years old when he ascended the throne. Because of his young age, he didn't have time to do anything. Duan Darren thought for a long time before he could barely recall this person's figure from his memory. It had to be said that compared to Shang Junlin, the other prince's presence was too weak. "How confident are you that you can pull His Majesty down from the throne?" "Duan Darren, do you know why the previous emperor hated the only legitimate prince so much?" There were many guesses in the imperial court regarding this reason, but none of them were verified. When the previous emperor was at his most absurd, he killed many people because of this matter. This matter had almost become a taboo that couldn't be touched. Now, many years after the previous emperor's death, it was brought up again. The man in gray left. Duan Darren sat in the same place for a long time without moving. After a long time, he stood up and wrote a letter. He sealed it with a special method. The weather in the capital was getting hotter and hotter. Xinyu didn't feel that hot in the Ji clan's territory. The temperature here was just right. It really felt like he was in a palace somewhere to avoid the summer heat. After much anticipation, the fruit of the moon lotus ripened. The ripened fruit was plucked and preserved with a special method. As the time to remove the seal approached, Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang began to feel nervous. On the contrary, Xinyu, as the person involved, was relatively calm. Xinyu grabbed the sleeves of the man who was walking back and forth in front of him. He said helplessly, "Your Majesty, if you continue walking, I'll be dizzy." With his sleeves caught, the man had no choice but to stop. He turned around and held Xinyu's hand in his palm. "I've never been so nervous before. Didn't Imperial Physician Gu say that the risk has been minimized?" Looking at Shang Junlin's appearance, Xinyu felt that even if he wanted to be nervous, he couldn't. He spent all his time comforting Shang Junlin. Chapter 232. I know, it's just that. He couldn't control himself. Shang Junlin didn't expect that there would be such a day. In the past, he felt that he wasn't afraid of anything and wasn't nervous at all. Now he realized that it was just that he hadn't met someone who could make him feel afraid and nervous. Xinyu walked over and hugged Shang Junlin from behind. He rested his head on Shang Junlin's shoulder and said, "Your Majesty, don't worry. Imperial Physician Gu is also here. Your Majesty should believe his words." Allowing Imperial Physician Gu to join them was a safeguard made by Shang Junlin. Imperial Physician Gu was very familiar with Xinyu's physical condition. If the Ji family wanted to do something, they wouldn't be completely passive. Imperial Physician Gu would report what he saw and heard to Shang Junlin. After listening, Shang Junlin would tell Xinyu that the two of them were quite familiar with the situation. "Come to me. I want to hug you," Shang Junlin said in a low voice. Xinyu let go of his hand. Before he could move, Shang Junlin had already turned around and hugged him. "Imperial Physician Gu told me that they improved the method several times, and finally chose the one that had the least impact on your body. However, after removing the restraining guidance, there will be no external force to suppress your original deficiency. You may need to recuperate for a period of time." Xinyu heard about this from Ji Wuwang. The elders of the Ji family who removed the restraining guidance discussed for a long time. The most important part was how to prevent his congenital deficiency from worsening after the restraining guidance was removed. In order to solve this problem, all the books in the Ji family's library were open to Imperial Physician Gu. In the end, Imperial Physician Gu found a way. After confirming the final steps, the time was set. The time was set to be 2 days later. These 2 days were used to make the final preparations. Shang Junlin stayed by Xinyu's side all day. Even if he had something to do, he would definitely bring Xinyu along. While they were dealing with the news from the outside world, Xinyu was held in Shang Junlin's arms as they watched the video together. The letter was sent by Fang Jun. In addition to the movements in the temporary imperial residence, it also mentioned the movements in the capital. What was different this time was that there was a special secret letter in the letter. It seems that they really can't sit still this time. The 17th prince secretly went to the capital? Xinyu rummaged through his memory, but couldn't find any information about this prince. After Shang Junlin ascended the throne, the 17th prince went to his fief with a few other princes who didn't have much of a presence. He had been well behaved all these years and didn't cause any commotion. Many princes were affected when the bloodline of the previous emperor was mixed up, but he wasn't. Without the king of Yu, there is the 17th prince. Why didn't he take that seat himself? Xinyu looked at the secret letter and couldn't figure it out. He thought that he would be able to fish out the mastermind directly, but he didn't expect it to be another puppet. Shang Junlin leaned close to Xinyu's face and said, "This time, I won't let him have a chance to escape unscathed." The meaning behind her gentle tone was enough to make one shudder. They all knew that it was impossible for the 17th prince to do these things. There must be someone behind him. Their purpose this time was to find out who this person was and get rid of him. Gu Huai has found the batch of armor left by the Lin family. Shang Junlin changed the topic. How is General Gu now? Xingyu didn't think that the mastermind would let Gu Huai get the armor unscathed. They were ambushed, but the ambushers were the remaining soldiers of the Lin family. They have been absorbed by Gu Huai. The two sides are now pretending to fight fiercely. They did this to confuse the enemy's eyes and ears. After Gu Huai led his men into the cave, they saw the missing armor of the Lin family. They didn't take the armor out immediately. Instead, they left empty-handed after checking it out. There were not only armors, but also other military supplies. There were several boxes full of weapons, but Gu Huai didn't let his men touch them. These things had been here for a long time, but no one took them away. It was as if they were waiting for them to come and take them. Gu Huai knew that things weren't that simple. He led his men out of the cave. They hadn't gone far when they were ambushed. The ambushers didn't have many people, but their fighting power was very strong. The two sides fought fiercely. At the critical moment, the leader of the other side saw the commander's seal in Gu Huai's hand. Stop! With the leader's order, the other side's people immediately stopped. Gu Huai also had his own people stop. The short confrontation made the two leaders understand that the two sides were evenly matched. If they continued to fight, both sides would suffer. The leader looked at the young general in front of him with a complicated expression. He asked in a hoarse voice, "Where did you get this commander's seal?" Gu Huai rubbed the commander's seal in his hand. All kinds of thoughts flashed through his mind, but he didn't show them on his face. Naturally, it was given by His Majesty. Shang Junlin, how dare you call His Majesty by his name? The soldiers standing behind Gu Huai subconsciously pointed their wooden cannons at the other side. The leader's men didn't pass on the responsibility and took an attacking stance. The atmosphere between the two sides was tense again. The leader waved his hand and signaled for the people behind him to relax. It seems that you have a lot of faith in the current emperor of the Great Huan Kingdom. Who are you? Gu Huai looked at the other side with a sharp gaze. I want to talk to you alone. No, who knows what you're thinking? Gu Huai's deputy was the first to disagree. General, you have to be careful of this person. Gu Huai was silent for a moment before he said, all right. The two generals led him to the side. The rest of the people looked at each other in confusion. They didn't know how things had suddenly turned out this way. In another secluded place, the leader stood opposite Gu Huai. He carefully sized up the young general in front of him. I heard that you used your own merits to reverse the Lin family's confession. Why? I just feel that the Lin family shouldn't bear such a crime. You still have the Lin family army's seal in your hands. We should listen to your orders, but the Lin family army no longer exists. You're from the Lin family army? Gu Huai interrupted him. Yes. The leader didn't deny it. When the Lin family was in trouble, the previous emperor wanted to hand over the Lin family army to someone else. I knew that there was something wrong with the destruction of the Lin family, so I quietly left with the brothers who were willing to follow me. As expected, many people in the Lin family army who questioned the Lin family's case quietly disappeared. Until now, there was no Lin family army in the world. Their loyal souls had passed away. But the injustice they suffered was only pacified decades later. If they hadn't recognized Gu Huai as the person to reverse the verdict for the Lin family, based on what he had done, the leader wouldn't have let them off. The things left behind by the Lin family are things that you have been guarding all this time? Gu Huai thought of the neatly arranged military supplies and asked. Yes. These things belong to the Lin family. Other than the Lin family, no one has the right to possess them. Since you reversed the verdict for the Lin family, you can take some of them if you want, the leader said. When you were here, did you meet other people who wanted to take these things away? Gu Huai didn't follow his words. Instead, he asked another question. The leader. Yes. The reason why we attacked you in the beginning was because we thought you were those people. Gu Huai. Regarding the Lin family, you also feel that there is something strange about it. I want to find out who wanted to harm the Lin family. Perhaps it has something to do with these people who often come here. The leader. What you say makes sense. What do you want me to do? Gu Huai whispered a few words. The leader nodded. I understand. After the two returned, the two forces confronted each other, and neither side gave in. The news here reached the ears of some people. After the subordinate reported it, he knelt on the ground and asked, "Master, do we continue to wait?" "Wait until both sides are injured, then we will act." "Yes. How is the 17th prince?" "He has already moved according to the master's orders." "What about the capital?" "We have already persuaded Master Duan. Many aristocratic families and ministers are also willing to stand on our side." "Very good." A carriage was heading to the capital in a low-key manner. Inside the carriage sat a 17 or 18-year-old boy. Beside him was a beardless man with a pale face. "Do you think we can really succeed?" The boy opened the carriage curtain and asked. "With the help of that master, of course we will succeed. Your Highness, don't worry. Just do as he says." "I have a feeling that it won't be so easy to succeed," the boy muttered. He had once seen his imperial brother from afar. That was the appearance of a real monarch. He felt that he could defeat him. In that kind of environment, he was able to kill his way out. Why did these people think that they could easily seize the throne from him? He couldn't understand. He also had no choice. Everything in the capital was still in order. The people lived and worked in peace. They didn't know that under the calm surface, there was a turbulent undercurrent. The weather this year is really hot. Fortunately, there is cheap ice for sale. Otherwise, I don't know how to spend the summer. It's all thanks to His Majesty and Guijun. I heard that the method to make ice was proposed by Guijun. Guijun really did a lot of things. I have a friend who just came back from Lin County. Weren't the consequences of the flood this year serious? Yes, because of the newly built water conservancy. Then you must not know that the newly built water conservancy is also related to Guijun. Is this true? Why would I lie to you? My friend was lucky enough to do something for the officials in Lin County. He heard it from there. How can it be false? Although Shen Yu didn't publicize the method to control the flood that he gave Shang Junlin, the officials in charge of the flood in Lin County still knew the truth. Therefore, they had a good impression of Shen Yu. One after another, the ministers also heard about this. They gathered together in private to discuss this matter. "Have you heard the rumors among the people? About Guijun? Is this true? It should be credible. Didn't you notice that the Prime Minister and official Fang think highly of Guijun? Everyone knows the Prime Minister's character. He can't treat someone differently just because His Majesty favors him." "That's right. So this is very likely true, and the Prime Minister knows the truth? If it's true, why didn't His Majesty announce it? This is a great contribution. Even if Guijun is a member of the harem, he can't not reward him. Why don't we send a memorial to ask? If it's true, we should reward him based on his contribution. If it's not, we should clarify it to the public." After the officials discussed it, they all felt that it was necessary to send a memorial to ask. Shen Yu didn't know that the news about him giving the method to control the flood had started to spread among the people. Many officials knew about it and planned to ask Shang Junlin for confirmation. There was only one day left. Shang Junlin put down everything and stayed by Shen Yu's side. Wherever Shen Yu went, he followed him like a big dog. After breakfast, Imperial Physician Gu came to check Shen Yu's pulse. Shang Junlin sat beside Shen Yu and held his other hand. "How is it?" Shang Junlin asked when Imperial Physician Gu put down his hand. "Guijuan's body is recovering well. Don't worry, Your Majesty. His insufficiency. Your subject has something to discuss with Your Majesty and Your Highness. It's about Your Highness's health. Your subject has been reading the Ji family's books these days, and has thought of a method that can greatly cure Your Highness's deficiency. Does Your Highness still remember the Junling that your subject sent into the palace? The Junling can be used as medicine. After it blossoms, using the flower of the Junling and a few medicines that are unique to the Ji family, it can minimize the effects of the deficiency on Your Highness's body." In addition to removing the Jiayin, Imperial Physician Gu was also looking for a way to solve another hidden danger of Shen Yu's body. Even if Guijuan's insufficiency was well taken care of, it would more or less affect his lifespan. Fortunately, the Ji family had a rich collection of books. He really found a way to cure Shen Yu's illness. Is this true? Shang Junlin couldn't hide his excitement. This was undoubtedly the best news he had heard. Shang Junlin had already decided that after removing the Jieyin and bringing Xinyu back to the palace, he would ask the Imperial Physician Hospital to work together to cure Xinyu's insufficiency. If the Imperial Physician Hospital couldn't do it, he would look for a doctor among the common people. No matter the cost, he would treat Xinyu's insufficiency. I don't dare to say anything rash. However, the treatment might take a long time. I will adjust the prescription according to Guijuan's specific condition. Imperial Physician Gu rambled on about the treatment. Imperial Physician Gu, just tell me what you want. As long as you can cure you, I'll satisfy any request. It's my duty to save the dying and heal the injured. Your Majesty doesn't have to do this. Moreover, I'm indebted to Guijun. I'll do my best to cure Guijun. Xinyu thought that removing the Jieyin was the best situation. He didn't expect Imperial Physician Gu to give him such a big surprise. Who didn't want to have a healthy body? He had been tortured by illness for 2 lifetimes. In this life, he wanted to accompany His Majesty for a longer period of time. With Imperial Physician Gu's promise, he suddenly felt relieved. When we return, I'll reward Imperial Physician Gu. Shang Junlin hugged Xinyu tightly. Imperial Physician Gu's words made him feel relieved. Nothing could make him happier than this news. Xinyu nodded in the man's arms. Because of what happened in his previous life, he saved Imperial Physician Gu from losing his life. Imperial Physician Gu rewarded him with a healthy body. It seemed that everything was predestined. In this life, because he chose to enter the palace and met Shang Junlin, there was a completely different development from his previous life. The next morning, Xinyu and Shang Junlin were led by the Ji family to the place where Xinyu's Jieyin was removed. It was a palace built in the middle of a mountain. Xinyu was led by Shang Junlin as they walked in step by step. Ji Wuwang followed beside them. Imperial Physician Gu and the other elders of the Ji family were already waiting. Shang Junlin was stopped in front of the palace. Only Xinyu could enter. This was what they had agreed on. Shang Junlin stood in place and watched Xinyu walk into the palace. The palace attendants closed the door. Xinyu turned around at the last moment before the door was completely closed. Your Majesty, wait for me. Chapter 233. Shang Junlin subconsciously walked forward. You can't go over. The attendant blocked his path. Shang Junlin stopped and watched as the door closed bit by bit. Only when the door was completely closed and he could no longer see the person inside, did Shang Junlin retract his gaze. Don't worry, the elders will return you a healthy Xiaoyu. Ji Wuwang patted Shang Junlin's shoulder to comfort him. During this period of time in the Ji clan, Ji Wuwang could feel how important Xinyu was to Shang Junlin. How much a person loved someone could be seen through their words and actions. Shang Junlin's every action showed how much he cared about Xinyu. Whether it was subconsciously protecting Xinyu, or how he dealt with those who tried to harm Xinyu. Those who tried to harm Xinyu were all handed over to Shang Junlin, after Ji Wuwang interrogated them. When Ji Wuwang heard how Shang Junlin dealt with those people, even he couldn't help but shudder. What kind of person Shang Junlin was? From these matters, one could see some clues. The vicious beast was willing to put on shackles just to keep that person. As a relative, he missed too much time to accompany Xinyu. Now that he found her, she had grown up alone, and had also found someone she could spend the rest of her life with. What he missed was ultimately a missed opportunity. He could only do his best to make up for it. The waiting process was always long. Shang Junlin waited outside the door. Halfway through, Ji Wuwang left for a while to deal with some matters. When he returned, the man was still standing in the same place. Even his posture hadn't changed. Dinner was only eaten casually. At this time, whether it was Ji Wuwang or Shang Junlin, neither of them were in the mood to eat. After an unknown period of time, the sky gradually darkened. The tightly closed door was pushed open a small crack. It was over. Shang Junlin and Ji Wuwang entered the hall. The elders were busy dealing with the aftermath. Imperial Physician Gu was bandaging the wounds on Xinyu's wrist and chest. A young man in a white robe without a speck of dust was lying on the huge stone bed. His eyes were tightly shut. as if he was an immortal who had accidentally fallen into the mortal world and was sleeping here. Your Majesty. Imperial Physician Gu stood up and bowed. No need to be so courteous. How is you? Shang Junlin walked to the side of the stone bed and looked at the young man lying on it. The prohibition in your body has been successfully removed. All you need to do now is rest well. Imperial Physician Gu replied. When will little you wake up? Ji Wuwang asked. If it's short, he'll wake up tomorrow. If it's long, he'll wake up within 5 days. Xinyu had a very long dream. When he woke up, everything in the dream had disappeared. He only vaguely remembered that it was a dream that made people feel happy. When he woke up, his body felt indescribably relaxed. The room was quiet. Xinyu opened his eyes and saw darkness. His wrist and chest hurt a little. He subconsciously wanted to raise his aching wrist to take a look. His hand felt restrained. His movement woke up the man who had fallen into a short sleep. His hand was grasped by a strong hand. The man's slightly hoarse voice sounded. Are you awake? Your Majesty? It's me. Shang Junlin stood up and lit the candle. Xinyu saw that the man's eyebrows were full of fatigue. He couldn't help but ask, Did I sleep for a long time? Not long. Today is the 3rd day. Shang Junlin sat by the bed and stared at Xinyu as if he couldn't get enough of him. Xinyu touched his face and saw that his wrist was wrapped in gauze. This was the wound from the treatment. Xinyu was still conscious at that time. He stared at his wrist for a long time. Shang Junlin thought that he was in pain and gently held his wrist. Does it hurt? A little. Your Majesty, help me up. It's uncomfortable to lie down for a long time. Shang Junlin supported Xinyu's back and helped him up. The wound on your body needs some time to heal. Yu is finally awake. A gentle kiss fell on his forehead. Xinyu blinked. His long eyelashes fluttered like butterfly wings. The man's gentle kiss gradually moved down and fell on his wings. There was no lust in the kiss. There was only intimacy and joy of regaining what he had lost. Xinyu leaned on Shang Junlin's chest. The man's heartbeat was steady, just like the feeling he gave Xinyu. Your Majesty, you waited for me. Xinyu reached out and touched the man's face. Yes, I waited for you. From now on, I will never let go. Shang Junlin rubbed Xinyu's hand. He couldn't remember how he waited for the past few days. Every moment, he prayed that Xinyu would open his eyes. But the young man just slept peacefully. There was no sign of him waking up. Shang Junlin didn't know how many times he had expected and was disappointed. His heart gradually became numb. Halfway through, Imperial Physician Gu came to change Xinyu's medicine several times. He repeatedly assured that Xinyu was sleeping to heal himself and would wake up soon. The Ji family's elder who removed Xinyu's abstinence inducer also said that it was normal. Only then did Shang Junlin calm down. When Xinyu woke up, the low pressure that lingered around the small courtyard was swept away. After Ji Wuwang received the news, he rushed over with several elders of the Ji family. Little you finally woke up. If you didn't wake up, I would have suspected that your Majesty was going to tear down the Ji family. Xinyu smiled. His Majesty wouldn't be so exaggerated. The other members of the Ji family thought. Only you would think so. They didn't doubt that if something happened to Xinyu in the Ji family might be exterminated by the furious emperor of the Great Huan dynasty. They came to examine Xinyu. Now that the abstinence inducer had been removed, they needed to see if there were any hidden dangers left behind. After the examination, their expressions relaxed. The leader of the group said, the abstinence inducer in young Master Shin's body has been completely removed. There are no remaining problems. It was more successful than they had imagined. In the following days, Xinyu stayed in the clan to recuperate. When the wounds on his body were healed, they could go back. In order to stay by Xinyu's side, Shang Junlin hadn't dealt with the outside world for several days. Xinyu felt a little helpless when he saw this person staying by his side all day long. Your Majesty, don't you have to deal with the matters in the capital? He hadn't forgotten that before they came here, they had set up a trap for the people outside. You will accompany me. Shang Junlin rubbed his face against Xinyu's. Xinyu couldn't drive them away. As long as he agreed with Shang Junlin, he would deal with them together. For the time being, there wasn't any big trouble in the capital. Everything was going according to plan. Feng Jun had found several unknown forces gathering, and had sent people to investigate. These people, don't tell me they want to stop us from returning to the capital? Xin Yu looked at the news from the palace and pondered. I brought a small number of people to the palace to avoid the summer heat. Such a good opportunity. If someone really wants to do something, they won't let go of this opportunity. Shang Junlin wasn't surprised. Xin Yu thought about it and agreed. Shang Junlin's initial plan had grasped this point. The truth was just as they thought. The people behind the scenes felt that this was a rare opportunity. Seeing Shang Junlin's reputation among the people was getting better and better, if they didn't take action, it would be more difficult to shake Shang Junlin's rule in the future. He didn't know what was going on with Shang Junlin. Why did his style of doing things suddenly change? No matter what he did, he could firmly grasp the people's hearts. Not to mention, after several major changes in the imperial court, the main officials were all willing to do practical things. Even the officials from the aristocratic families who stayed could contribute to Dahuan. Thinking about it carefully, all the changes seemed to have started after Shen Yu entered the palace. Shen Yu, you have underestimated the child of Count North. The man sitting on the main seat said. His Majesty is deeply in love with him. This is also our opportunity. If we hurt him or pull him to our side, it will definitely cause a heavy blow to His Majesty. The person sitting below said. That's right. He didn't enter the palace willingly, right? He's the legitimate son of Duke Xinbei. Not only did he fail to ask for the title of Crown Prince, but he was also sent to the harem. As far as I know, this legitimate son of Duke Xinbei is no worse than anyone else. Otherwise, how could he seduce the King of Yu and the Emperor to fight for him at the same time and escape unscathed? The King of Yu, humph, if he wasn't stupid, why would he push the 17th prince out now? Someone was dissatisfied. It's obvious that Shen Yu is on the Emperor's side. Now that he has the Emperor's favor, he can get whatever he wants. Rather than pulling him to our side, it's better to get rid of him directly. The person sitting on the right said. If it was so easy, we would have done it long ago. Now that the Emperor is in the palace, we will send people to intercept him. At the same time, we will control the capital. When the 17th prince ascends the throne, we will expose the secret. The world will know who is qualified to sit on the throne. The first confidant who spoke retorted. But, wasn't it verified once before? After the incident with Prince Huayu, all the prince's bloodlines were re-verified. The ministers all knew that there was no problem with the emperor's bloodline. Let's talk about this later. How's the situation in the capital? After the argument, the person sitting on the main seat spoke again. Everything is going according to plan. After removing the prohibition, Xin Yu ushered in a period of weakness. In addition, he lost too much blood during the process, so his face was very pale for a while. Imperial physician Gu prescribed a prescription for recuperation. Xin Yu had to take medicine every day again. This time, the medicine was different from Imperial physician Gu's usual style. It was very bitter. Xin Yu only took a sip, but he couldn't stand the bitter taste in his mouth. You didn't take the medicine properly again? Shang Junlin walked in from outside, and happened to see Xin Yu putting aside the medicine that he had taken a sip of. Xin Yu would only complain about such trivial matters in front of Shang Junlin. Why didn't your Majesty ask Imperial physician Gu to prescribe some medicine that isn't so hard to swallow? Xin Yu felt that he had never drunk medicine that tasted so complicated in his 2 lifetimes. It wasn't just bitter. There were all kinds of strange tastes mixed in with the bitterness. Compared to these strange tastes, Xin Yu would rather this medicine was just bitter. I asked Imperial physician Gu. Some herbs are special, so the taste is stronger. After drinking this medicine, it won't taste so bad in the future. I still have to drink it for half a month. Just thinking about it made him feel hopeless. Is it really that bad? Shang Junlin walked to Xin Yu's side and picked up the bowl of medicine. Xin Yu nodded. Forget it, I'll drink it all in one go. No matter how long it took, he had to drink this medicine. Xin Yu took the bowl of medicine from Shang Junlin's hand and drank it all in one go. When he put down the bowl, Shang Junlin had already brought over the candied fruit. Xingyu didn't take it. Instead, he pulled Shang Junlin's collar and pulled him over. Your Majesty, have a taste of how bitter it is. Xingyu licked Shang Junlin's lower lip. How does it taste, Your Majesty? Chapter 234. Shang Junlin pressed the back of Xinyu's head and deepened the kiss. His nasal voice sounded. You is sweet. Xinyu used a lot of effort to break free from the man's shackles. He picked up the candied fruit on the side and threw it into his mouth. Then he kissed her again. Now it's sweet. After hugging and kissing her for a while, Shang Junlin let her go. How are you feeling recently? Shang Junlin asked about Xinyu's health. He asked her personally every day, as if he could only feel at ease when he heard Xinyu's answer with his own ears. I don't feel uncomfortable anywhere. It would be better if the medicine wasn't so bad. When you're better, we'll go back to the palace. Do you want to go back? Shang Junlin pushed the hair on Xinyu's forehead away from her temples. I'm still used to living in the palace. Is it okay that His Majesty hasn't shown up for so long? How's the situation outside? In order to let Xinyu recuperate in peace, Shang Junlin rarely talked to Xinyu about the outside world. Don't worry. The Prime Minister is in the capital. There won't be any big trouble. Gu Huai has already recognized the Lin family army left behind by the Lin family. They have a common enemy, so they will stand on one side, Shang Junlin said. Has General Gu found out who attacked the Lin family back then? Xinyu asked. The real culprit has already been dealt with. However, there is still a hidden force behind this matter. The abnormality of the Lin family was caused by this force. Gu Huai has some evidence in his hands. This person is the same person who used the medicine in Lin County? Back then, when the Lin family was in trouble, Gu Huai found a clue about Crimson Dream. Not long ago, the epidemic in Lin County was also caused by Crimson Dream. There must be some connection between the two. Gu Huai's hands and feet are tied. By the time he gets rid of those people, the truth will be revealed to the world. Gu Huai was still in a standoff with the Lin army deep in the mountains. Both sides were fighting fiercely, but the real losses were not great. Their movements were reported to the scholars behind them by the spies who had been observing them. A few days later, when both sides had suffered heavy losses, they encountered another army that appeared out of nowhere. Gu Huai and the other party's leader looked at each other and understood that the person they were waiting for had arrived. The people who originally thought they would win joined the battle, but before they could react, they were surrounded by the people brought by Gu Huai and the Lin family army. None of them could escape. After dealing with this group of people, Gu Huai did not leave immediately. Instead, he stayed for a few more days and dealt with the other groups of people one after another. Then he followed their traces and led his troops to their headquarters. The scholar behind these people did not know what was going on here. His attention was focused on the capital, and he secretly went there. His attention was taken away, so he naturally ignored the reversal on Gu Huai's side. Gu Huai and the other side's momentum of fighting to the death gave him the illusion that the two sides would be in a life and death situation under his arrangement. He didn't expect that from the beginning his judgment was wrong. Hurriedly, the 17th prince arrived at the capital. He was arranged to stay in an inconspicuous house at the edge of the capital. He was surrounded by people who protected and monitored him. On this day, a special guest came to the house. Under the guidance of a servant, Duan Darren met the scholar who he would be loyal to in the future. Greetings, Your Highness. Darren, no need to be so courteous. This meeting was a signal. Duan Darren knew that the other party was telling him that it was time to make a move. Everything happened quietly. In a place where no one could see, the power was in turmoil. Fang Jun was not in the court, so the Prime Minister was in charge of the court. However, as one of the cabinet ministers, Duan Darren's influence in the court was not small. Under the surging undercurrents, the Prime Minister did not seem to notice anything, and continued to do what he was supposed to do every day. As for this, the people in the city did not feel anything. They were busy making a living every day and occasionally discussed the various things that happened in the capital. Recently, The most discussed thing was the opening of the elementary school in the imperial court. This matter had already been put on the agenda. Even though Shang Junlin was not in the court, under the leadership of the Prime Minister and other ministers, it was still carried out in an orderly manner. Shen Yu's body was recovering well. The Ji family's foundation was medical skills. Any one of the elders was a divine existence outside. With them and imperial physician Gu helping Shen Yu recuperate, it was difficult for him not to recover. Shang Junlin was the emperor of Dahuan, and could not stay outside for too long. Seeing that Shen Yu's body was getting better day by day, the two discussed leaving. Xiao Yu, are you really not going to stay? Ji Wuwang asked again as he sat opposite Shen Yu and Shang Junlin. No need. Shen Yu shook his head. Not to mention that he had Shang Junlin now. Even if he was alone, he would not stay in the Ji family. His mother was indeed a member of the Ji family, but to him, the Ji family was just a group of strangers. So what if they were related by blood? Duke Zhenbei was his biological father, so he wouldn't take him seriously. Thinking of Zhenbei Ho, Shen Yu remembered the strange expression on his face when he asked Zhenbei Ho about his mother. He asked Ji Wuwang, "Does Zhenbei Ho not know about my mother's identity?" "He should not know," Ji Wuwang replied. After my mother passed away, it seemed like the news about her in the capital was deliberately erased. Who did this? Does the person who did this know my mother's true identity? Shen Yu felt that the person who had the ability to do such a thing must have an extraordinary identity. Your mother took the token of the Shang family's ancestor when she left. Your existence has not been discovered for so many years, so there should be someone secretly helping her. Ji Wuwang was also investigating this matter, but he did not have any clues. Someone from the imperial family. I will investigate when I return to the capital. Shang Junlin was very concerned about this matter regarding Shen Yu. Your Majesty, who do you think is helping my mother behind the scenes? After Ji Wuwang left, Shen Yu talked to Shang Junlin alone about this matter. The person who had the ability to do this back then was the imperial family. It could only be the princes or the previous emperor. These people are not related to my mother, so why would they help her? Just because of the token? Most people in the imperial family pursued benefits. Shen Yu did not think that an unknown orphan girl could easily gain their trust. What happened after my mother left the Ji family? In order to clarify this problem, Shen Yu planned to meet Zhu Wang and the others who were imprisoned by Ji Wuwang. From their various actions, they should have some understanding of what happened back then. Hearing that he was going to meet them, Ji Wuwang also followed him. They were locked in the dungeon. When Shen Yu entered, he found that Zhu Wang and the other person's clothes were still clean. They should have been cleaned up before they were brought here. Shen Yu did not intend to talk nonsense and bluntly said, "What happened after my mother left the Ji family?" The two of them had suffered a lot of inhumane torture these days. To them, it was better to die than to live. At least they would not have to face endless pain. Although they looked clean on the surface, there were no wounds on their bodies. But the places covered by their clothes were already covered with wounds. They originally thought that they would have a miserable end in Ji Wuwang's hands, but they did not expect the anger of the great Huan Emperor to be even more unbearable. The two of them now understood what it meant to be better to die than to live, because when they heard Shen Yu's words, they did not dare to not answer. The one who spoke was another person who had defected from the Ji family. He said, after the holy maiden left the Ji family, the first thing she did was to shake off the pursuit of the Ji family's patriarch. During this period of time, we did not know what happened. The next time we heard of her was in the capital. How did my mother go to the capital? You do not know? The person shook his head. When we found out about the holy maiden's whereabouts, she had already changed her identity. The capital was too big, and we did not know her exact whereabouts. We chased to the capital and wanted to capture her, but we did not expect to fall into her trap and suffer heavy losses. Since then, we had no choice but to lie low. When my mother left, did she take many people with her? Shen Yu turned to look at Ji Wuwang. Ji Wuwang immediately understood Shen Yu's unfinished words. He said, "Not many. If there were enough people, we would not have lost track of her." This was very strange. Since she did not take many people with her, it was definitely not enough to deal with the patriarch. Otherwise, she would not have changed her identity. Then who helped his mother? Was it also someone from the imperial family? After confirming that he could not get any more information from these people, Xinyu asked another question. How did you plan to deal with me at that time? Zhu Wang, who had been taught a lesson, was very honest. He confessed everything in one breath. We wanted you to stand on the side of King Yu. You have Jie Yin in your body. Through a special medicine, you will not have any thoughts of betrayal. The biggest doubt in his previous life was solved. There was indeed something fishy about helping King Yu to ascend the throne. Xinyu had already guessed it. Now that his guess was confirmed, he could not help but sigh in his heart. Without waiting for him to do anything, Shang Junlin had already stepped forward and grabbed Zhu Wang's collar. You still want to control Yu? The man's voice was filled with violence and the pressure around him was extremely low. The man looked at him as if he was looking at a dead object. Zhu Wang was stared at by the pair of eyes filled with killing intent. He had already experienced the horror of this man. Under extreme fear, he could not say a word. Your Majesty. A white hand covered the man's hand and stopped the man's violence. Shang Junlin let go of his hand and was pulled around by Xinyu. It's okay, Your Majesty. The soft, comforting voice brought the man back to his senses. Shang Junlin glanced at the two of them coldly. This glance made them feel as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. I've told you everything I know. I beg you, please kill me. Zhu Wang crawled on the ground. His voice was filled with unconcealable fear. Kill you? Shang Junlin sneered. Wouldn't that be letting you off too easily? After asking everything that needed to be asked, Xinyu held Shang Junlin's hand and walked out. The man did not say a word along the way. When they returned to the small courtyard, Xinyu shook the man's hand. Your Majesty, are you still angry? How could they treat you like this? Shang Junlin tightened his arms and pulled Xinyu into his embrace. I will make them pay for hurting you. Xinyu leaned against the man's chest. I know that Your Majesty will avenge me. Xinyu would be lying if he said that he was not angry about this matter. However, when he saw that Shang Junlin cared so much about it, he was not so angry. In his previous life, those people had succeeded, but the ending was changed by him. He had always been clear about what he wanted. As for how to deal with those people, Shang Junlin did not tell Xinyu. Xinyu did not ask either. He raised his head, hugged Shang Junlin's neck, and kissed his lips. I'm very lucky to have met Your Majesty. The changes in this life were all caused by Shang Junlin. He would not let anyone destroy all of this. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.